Brown Cow. Hello, interwebs. How are you tonight? This is the closer and the opener, if you think about it.
This is true.
Oh, this
last show and the first show, all at the same time. Gizzard thought he was gonna. I gotta make sure I get the show on tonight in case Gizzard goes early again tomorrow. Then he can't technically be open. Make sure I keep things good here. So what's going on? We got some people watching. I can't see, obviously. I guess I could go on and see who the hell's watching out there. How many viewers we got? Where's everybody at? Hey, if anybody sees Moo, Two Live Moo said he wanted to be on tonight, but then he's AWOL. Obnoxious is first, he says. Okay. Let's see who we got out there so far. Ben was first. Grim, what's going on, Grim? Patriot, what's going on? Pfeiffer. Kinky's out there. Ozzy's out there. Giz. Ape, Local 223. Snob's wife. I guess Gun Gals is over, maybe? I don't know. It should be by now. Unless they went long. Seven Wonders, Obnoxious. What's going on, everybody? Down in the gun channels. Ape's down there. G's down there. Ape's down there. Pfeiffer's down there. David, is that you? Is that Kingpin? I can't remember. I guess that's Kingpin, right?
Bowling. It's Kingpin, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He logs into 1 to 2 accounts, I think.
Yeah. He says gun channels is working great right now.
Cool.
The water's fine. Rich is out there. What's going on, Rich?
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm getting some notifications I don't want right now. All right, so episode 69, Brown Chicken, Brown Cow. All right, which is fitting because I don't know where Psycho's at. Psycho told me he needed some gluten-free food help. See if he could bag himself a lady. Bag himself a chick he works with.
Cheeseburgers and donuts.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna lure her into like a trap of gluten-free food.
I guess.
How's that gonna just follow the trail of rice flour or what?
Yeah, They're like Reese's Pieces, you know.
Wow. Where is he putting
I
something
don't
in
know.
the
We'll see if I told him we'd talk about it tonight, and then he doesn't show up. We'll see what happens. If he doesn't show up, I'm not talking about it. I'm not giving him no free advice, no free help. He has to at least thumb it up. If he doesn't thumb it up, I'm not talking about it. He's on his own.
That's right.
He's on his own. I'll drop a bag of wheat flour on his front door and run away.
Oh, that'd be vicious.
Light it on fire. Light it on fire like in Billy Madison.
That's like attempted murder, isn't it?
That's how it would be. That's how that movie would go if the gluten free. They'd light a bag of flour on his front porch and run away. Call the fire department. This one's out of control again.
This is poop again.
It's flour again. Call the fire department.
Somebody trying to bake a loaf of bread on my lawn.
Don't put it out with your boot, Ed.
Don't tell me my business, devil woman. Oh God, I haven't seen Billy Madison in so long.
It's a good one.
That's a classic.
That's a good movie. And so we will talk about that tonight, possibly. Everybody seemed, like I said, Two Live Moo wanted to be here. He wanted to get in on a little Smoking the Bandit chat. We can bullshit about Smoking the Bandit if anybody wants to. Put out that Instagram post with some quotes from the movie this week because it was Jackie Gleason's birthday this week, or would have been.
It's the only reason I stayed up this late.
Oh yeah, cool. And then I got a couple little topics they might for discussion. Nothing too crazy. Poor conservatives out there. Guy that comments yesterday's pomade. What's going on, buddy? Arctic fire. The poor conservative is encroaching on your territory there, Mr. P11. He put out a quesadilla video not long ago.
Hey man, it's an equal opportunity, you know. Equal opportunity snack. The more the merrier.
Man, I guess I got to do a quesadilla video.
Hey, everybody's doing coffee reviews now too. Did you notice that? Mr. Guns and Gear did one. I got Hardot put out one for MAGA Coffee. Yeah. Man, I'll tell you what.
There's I keep hearing about vet-owned coffee companies too.
There's another one out called Invader Coffee that looks pretty badass. They got some neat blends out there that I'd like to try.
I've heard of at least 4.
Yeah. Oh, I had one called from Arkansas called Doomsday Coffee. I think that's the company that makes it. I got a buddy that actually brought some back. His family lives out in Arkansas, and he brings back coffee when he comes back here, and it's really good stuff. It's Day of the Dead blend is what it was called. It's actually Brazilian.
That's cool.
But no,
I
yeah,
have a blend called Two Cousins.
oh man, probably. No, the guy that runs it's pretty cool, dude. It's a better known company though too. So I don't...
Kissing Cousins.
Yeah, probably.
G says, "Dang, room's full." You just let me know, G. Put in the chat there who you want me to kick out, and we'll make them go.
Oh man.
Oh.
It's like, which kid you love the least? Probably Travis P11.
Yeah, who draws the short straw?
Which is one of you guys a redhead? Because that's
No, no, I'm not.
Oh, no. Gizzard's got red feathers over there.
Is Clover here?
No, Clover's not here. What if we have an affinity for gingers? Is that a disqualifying offense?
Heavy here.
It might drop you to the bottom of the list. It's not up to me. I'm not
The
making.
bad thing is Midnight. He's gonna pick you, Midnight.
That could be. I would be the 3rd person this week to get kicked out of my own chat.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us. And the worst.
I'll know I'm in trouble if he opens up a van chat or something. I'll be like, uh-oh, I'm toast. Lead Life's out there. What's going on? Seven Wonder says, this is just what I need to overcome my insomnia. Yeah, this will do it. Hell, I damn near fall asleep some nights. What's wrong with that? So let's run it through the room and give G some time to see who he's going to take the hatchet to. Let him think about it a little bit. Maybe your intros will be important. You do a shitty intro, maybe like, that's the guy that's got to go. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, not a whole lot. I've probably been exceptionally lazy and very busy all in one weekend.
That's a shitty combo, man, because that makes you getting shit done even harder.
Yeah, I slept for most of the day yesterday, got up and remembered, oh, yeah, the ABS system on my truck was having fits yesterday. So started it up and, I don't know, I had ABS, started it up again today and nope, went out. So found out that in GM's infinite wisdom, the grounding cables for the ABS unit terminate on the frame underneath the vehicle, so they're exposed to all that wonderful salt and corrosion and bullshit. So I got one taken off and actually twisted the head off the other one. So after this chat, I'm going to go get my tap outs and see if I can't get that. Otherwise, I did test out a completely unnecessary brake on my Precision 22, or Ruger Precision 22 the other day.
Oh, that monster, huh?
Actually, I was testing.
Almost looks like the brake off my AMD.
Well, the thing of it is, all right, my dad bought this at a gun show a couple years ago and finally got around to putting it on, I think, his 22 Nozzler. He was having all he could do to keep his shots on a 4-foot square piece of cardboard with this brake on it. And he thought, or he took it off and I looked at it and thought I saw like a little tiny ass chip on like the inside of this lip here. So I just bought it from him, screwed it on my 22, which I'd already zeroed. And at about, I think it was about 50 yards I was shooting. With this brake on, it was hitting 20 feet in front of the target. Without the brake on, it was shooting the point of aim. So, and actually looking at it now, there was a nice little buildup of lead kind of right there. So clearly, even with the new crush washer that I put on it, this thing's just, junk.
Maybe it was threaded, wasn't threaded straight or something.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
No, it's a standard AR thread. I mean, you can't really cross thread these on.
No, I mean like when they cut the threads into it, maybe they.
Yeah, it's not the threads in the the bore on it probably aren't concentric.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a machinist. I could easily fix it. Just I don't think my company would be appreciated paying me my salary or paying me my wages for fucking around on stuff like that. Otherwise, I would like to plug, since I'm the first one here, go over to Indiegogo and check out the G-Web's patch batch. Do it. Do it now. And if you feel like it, throw some money at Night Strike so we can make fun of them in Tulsa.
Come on, do it. Do it now.
Do it. Everyone else is. What are you, a loser? Just do it.
All the cool people are doing it. All the losers are doing it. Don't you want to be a loser?
All the cool losers are doing it. Well, I mean, when they're not on the show.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I really got.
Cool. Gizzard, what's going on? You were a hot shot this morning, huh?
Man, I've been chatting and more chatting today. Thanks for having me, GizzardGary.com, and I concur with the 2A patch batch. Everybody should get out and buy a set of those out on Indiegogo. And you should buy cool stuff from gearwebsites.com because it's cool, especially on Fridays because it's Free Patch Friday, of course. And do all kinds of cool stuff like that and give them the bird. Give him the bird. Thanks for the invite.
He's giving out free birds if anybody wants them.
Wake up, Snob.
Doing the bird dance.
It's going to fly.
Snob's doing the bird dance. Snob's doing the bird dance. Grim 90, what's going on? You got school tomorrow?
Yes, I do. Some have to work.
We're getting a truckload of snow. Well, not a truckload, but we had snow all afternoon. It's supposed to snow through tomorrow, I think.
It's Travis's fault. He's sending it my way. Then I'm going to send it your way.
Yeah, it's due straight east, so it's going to get there eventually.
Yeah.
We're out tomorrow. We got all of 2 inches of snow.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
You got 2 inches and they cut school?
Well, they said it was because of the extreme wind chills early in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure. But no, not too
you guys
much.
don't. You guys are so backwoods out there. You don't have coats.
Pretty much. But buses don't have heaters. You know, they're pulling them with horses. So.
Ah, that sucks. Patriot, what's going on, buddy guy?
Just trying to stay out of trouble, and thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
This isn't the place to do that, that's for sure.
Well, you know, I've got a good track record this weekend. You know, Snob, his chat crashed, and Noxious has crashed, and they say this is the closer, but I think it was the cooler because once you got onto that chat last night, it just slid right down. So I do appreciate the invite, and make sure you guys check out Rick's Life as I See It. Give him a couple subs because he's almost to his 200 sub giveaway, and he's anxious. So.
Yeah, he's probably getting antsy, huh?
Hey.
What's he doing? Do you know?
He's got some very special giveaway prizes from some anonymous guy, Kingpin. Some pistol holders and some other stuff. But, you know, he has his 2 chats a week, Shooting with Disabilities, which I'm sort of a fan of on Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern, as well as his Saturday wrap-up and, you know, the one that Travis steals his ideas, you know, and underwrites him with his topics and stuff. But, you know, we still carry on, you know, and you got your regulars, you got your Tony, you know, since you either hear him on the early lobbies during the week, since we don't have early watch, which anyway, yeah, check us out. I'm here, I'm there, I'm all over the place. And I'm staying positive.
That's what I like.
And my local shop had a sale this weekend, and I was unable to get there.
No.
So I'm kind of sad.
I don't know. I'm about sick of hearing everybody buying guns.
Let's see.
Bumming me out.
Buy some freedom.
Bumming me out.
I guess you don't want to hear about what I bought last weekend.
Probably
No.
not.
No.
What'd you buy? You're up next. Tell us.
Yeah, what did I buy? I bought this right here.
Was that a squirt gun?
Oh,
No, that's
M&P.
not a squirt gun. That's
Oh, pellet gun?
That's an M&P compact.
Did you get that ported? Is that the ported model?
No, it's not ported.
No.
It's just the base.
You just poured it yourself if you got a drill.
I got a drill press. I can port it for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
How do you need a press for it?
Yeah, I'm sure that would work real well. I got
You
a
can
drill.
put some
I can
sights
put
on
some
it,
holes
too.
in there.
Yeah, I can put the sights on the side of it too if you need me to.
I don't know if you could do that with this one. Where the threads go and the extractor. I don't know. That would work too well.
Challenge accepted. Send it to me.
There you go.
No, that ain't happening.
Well, if you need some more holster material, let me know. I'll hook you up. I got purple and green.
He can make it in Joker colors.
I actually keep one of the Crown Royal bags at the house for my bolt for my 308 because I can't put my 308 in my hard case and close it because the bolt's it's got one of the oversized bolt handles. The damn thing won't close, so I just take it out and put it in the Crown Royal bag.
I hate to interrupt you, but you know what? It's you guys' fault. The other day I had 2 customers come in with their guns in a Crown Royal bag, and I just about fell over the counter laughing.
Shut the hell up.
Thinking of you. I'm not joking. Oh, my God.
Was you expecting him to pull it out and it'd be a high point?
Yeah, what was it?
No, can't have high points here. No, one was a Taurus and one was, I think it was a Jimenez or something.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean,
the guy next to me, Gene, is like, dude, what? I had to walk away. I'm like, oh my God, these guys are such a bad influence.
How funny, how amazing would it have been if one of them pulled out a high point with a gangster sight red on it?
Oh, I would have.
Could you have gotten your phone out fast enough to take pictures of it? Or you just ripped it right out of your pocket? You just what happened to your pocket? I tore my pocket trying to get my phone out. Just shredded it.
Anyway.
Very cool. So have you shot it yet, Rich?
This one,
yeah.
I've been sick all week, so I haven't got to do anything.
Oh, yeah, it sucks. Seven Wonder says, if any gun deserves a crown bag, it's a Jimenez. It's the best sight when prone.
What a great segue into roll calls spot.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, roll call.
That's what he actually keeps his Jimenez teeth in, a Crown Royal bag. They rattle around. What's going on, Ro?
Oh, my God.
Don't be hating on that gun. If you see my Instagram, I might go buy me one of them bad boys. 160 bucks, pure power, pure awesomeness, and it's bronze. Oh my God.
It's faster than anything, right, Travis?
Faster than anything ever. That's about the most uneducated statement I think I've ever made in my life, but that's up there. So
yeah, that was pretty uninspired, but that's why it was funny. It's faster than anything.
Ever.
I love it. Sarge, what's going on? You out on the town?
There you go.
All right.
You were being detained.
Whose rights are you infringing on?
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. I appreciate it, and I'll jump in and out as I can.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I'm watching something right now.
If he's like, I'm creeping on somebody right now. If Sarge was a villain, he would be the infringer. He was a super villain. Here comes the infringer. Get him. Gunsnob, what's going down?
Not much. Just stayed up to, do some Smokey and the Bandit chat mainly. But that's about it. Hopefully I have new or better internet again tomorrow. They're supposed to be out tomorrow to fix it. If the 2 inches of snow doesn't keep them away.
Oh God. 2 inches of snow.
Not with that wind, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty chilly.
Do they have to come out and tighten the string between the two cans? Is that what's the problem?
Yeah, well, they're going to replace the string. They said it's not the proper string.
I can see that happen. Cheap string, that's a bitch.
Yeah.
I thought you said
fancy new age monofilament.
He was blaming it on wife at first.
She was on the phone working hard for you while you were playing on the internets.
Yep.
You're giving her grief.
Yeah. It was a bad situation whenever I went in after I got kicked off my show. I thought I was getting divorced last night.
Well, she probably just didn't have time to get the paperwork filled out.
Pretty much.
Although, I would be willing to put 10 or 15, probably $20 on the fact that she's got the paperwork there all filled out, just ready for that one day.
She's already paid the retainer, I'm pretty sure.
Got the little sticky arrow on there, just sign here. She went to divorce.com and yep.
I think that process probably started the night of the dating game episode of Ungal.
Oh wow. Oh, she did cool you off with some snow.
Yeah. Yeah. That was after she came back in a better mood.
Oh, okay.
Did she use the credit card to buy herself something from you?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know what. She said she was just going to Walmart after dog food before the snowstorm hit, but I think it was just she was mad at me and just wanted to get the heck away from me.
She went and bought herself another Glock 42.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some fun stuff at Walmart you could go buy at 2 a.m. if you really wanted to. Piss somebody off, take their credit card, you can buy all sorts of shit there.
Mm-hmm. Buy a lot of ammo.
Now,
only if you can find someone with the key.
That's what I was going to say. Good luck at 2 a.m. finding someone with a key.
Well,
yeah,
that and you guys.
Usually it's just the manager, the person that has it.
Can you guys buy ammo late at Walmart?
With the key.
Well, they leave out all the shotgun shells.
I was going to say, I know you can buy shotgun shells late because because my son had skeet practice and he didn't tell me till 10 o'clock at night, and I've had to go buy shotgun shells late at night.
Here you can get some of the 22 long rifle without having it being, because some of that's not locked behind the glass.
Oh no, wow. They keep that shit locked up like it's still worth its weight in unobtainium.
All right, man.
Snowstorm. He's making fun of me calling it a snowstorm.
Yeah, out here you can buy whatever you want out of the case. You just they have a little red button you can push right by the register, and then usually it's a manager that comes out that has the key. And the only bad thing is at that point in the night, they usually have to take it up front. I just usually pay for the ammo in the back in the sporting goods area, but the registers are usually cashed out after like 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm. We're not allowed. It's policy at the one by me that they don't sell ammo past like 10 o'clock.
Were they worried about drunken driving or what?
I don't know. I guess
it's
worried about somebody getting off work, getting off of work and being pissed at their boss or something. I don't know. It's their policy. I tried to buy ammo there after work one time and they wouldn't sell it to me.
Oh, jeez, man.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know. I mean,
could be a personnel thing. Maybe they have to pull a manager and they don't want to do that because that person's running the whole store.
Yeah, they're just going to the range at midnight.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, I'm not a member right now because money's a little tight. I don't have my membership right now, but yeah, I used to go out after work. So I'd leave work, and Walmart was basically on the way to my range. So it was kind of nice. I'd stop and, if I was going to shoot a box, I'd just stop and buy a box or two, and that way I don't, I'm not going low or getting low or anything, but. Yeah, I stopped out and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we can't sell ammo past 10 p.m." I was like, "Why not? That's store policy." Like, okay.
Well, your hours might not agree with that either. It could be somebody does a 12-hour schedule 3 or 4 days a week. They're working from like like 10 to 10 or something, or 9 to 9, and
Mm-hmm.
can't get in there to go get it.
Mm.
I mean, you can always order and have it delivered if you live in a state that'll let you do that. But yeah,
Damn, man. Damn, I was just gonna go rob somebody too, and I didn't have any ammo.
Speaking of buying ammo, when I was out getting transmission fluid, decided I stop at one of our local gun stores and pick up a box of Blackout. Actually, fairly reasonably priced stuff.
Arms Corps. I've fired a couple different calibers of their ammunition. It's not bad. I mean, it's decent. It's all made in the Philippines, isn't it? Same stuff that Rock Island.
Nope. This says right here, made in USA.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, well, who's their head stamp?
I've shot quite a bit of the arms. I've shot quite a bit of the Arms Corps 300 because that's what I can buy locally for a decent price.
300 black and then AP.
How much is that a box?
At runnings
15?
I was at, it was like $13, I think.
Oh wow. Okay.
I don't know.
Every time I go to 15 for
yeah, these are the 147 full metal jackets. I know Walmart's got like the American Eagle. I think they're the 125s for $12 maybe. Keep meaning to buy it, but every time I'm there at 3 or 5 in the morning, it's do I really want to have to talk with more of these people than I have to?
I didn't know Walmart had a 300.
Oh, well, the one here does. It has the Federal or the American Eagle 125s, and I think it's got the green and white box Remington 220s.
Yeah, I think we have the same stuff out here too. 3 or 4 different varieties of it here. Yeah.
I don't ever really buy any ammo other than shotgun shells at Walmart, and every now and then 9mm because I make the wife get it.
Got to be buying that from Foos, man. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I keep thinking I will. Well,
it's good stuff.
Rope, ski masks, and a red hat. Yeah, that's good late night purchases. Travis, what's going on with you? We didn't do you yet, right?
No. It's all good, man. No, I'm
What's
just
happening?
staying up late. It's school night, but I wanted to hang out with you guys for once instead of messing around or going right to bed. So, no, I'm doing good, man. Channel's doing good. I'm a lot of good stuff coming up. Just trying to get out to the range, which is about impossible right now. But maybe this weekend I'll go out and do some shooting. Otherwise, let's check out the channel, Travis P11, and we got Caliber Corner on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Just for the record, I do post my topics like 3 days before Rick's Life is posted, so I just want to say that right now. So, who's copying who, man? Who's copying who? I don't know.
Snob, your wife's out there. Shh.
Anyway, but yeah, check out everybody here on the panel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and get on over to gunchannels.com. Good stuff.
Yeah, you're just using that precognitive Trav eye power to steal this stuff.
No. Well, I'm still going off of viewer suggested topics for my 10,000 viewer giveaway video. I'm almost to the bottom of the list at this point. If you look at the questions people have been asking, I do 2 or 3 of those topics a week, and I've just about run out. So that's what I've been going off of.
It's taking you a while.
Well, there was like, we do about 3 topics. There's about 40 or 50 comments that people posted, and so I'm only doing about 3 a week. So I'm able to get about 15 episodes of Caliber Corner, which is almost 4 months out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, which is good. I mean, we try not to repeat anything, but it's hard not to.
Yeah, it's been a while since my question was on there, so I know you've been doing it a while.
Well, which one was yours? Because I'm sure I covered it.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Yeah, I was like, the one about 10mm versus big bore revolver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was versus like 454 Casull or something like that, or?
Just in general.
Oh, in general? Yeah.
That was like one of the first ones you did with that.
Well, I don't necessarily go like in order all the way down, but I just kind of jump around and pick topics and make up a nice little well-rounded episode. So it's a lot of fun.
That was one of the first few episodes where you started when you were doing that. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a while back.
I like 10mm, man. It's a nice stout round. It's a little expensive, but it's making a bit of a resurgence.
Yeah, the best part is I missed the episode. I ended up catching it on replay.
Oh yeah. That's all right, man.
Tim 18 Wheels out there says, what's everyone's opinion on Walmart's nationwide policy against selling ammo to person under 21? I think if you're 18 years old and you can go to war and shoot ammo and possibly die, that you should be able to buy it.
You know, there's no law against it, and I don't see what the problem is. When I go to Cabela's, I don't know if I have to give my age or not. They'll sell you ammunition, you know, pistol. I don't think they even ask for my age at all when I check. I don't know if they're supposed to or not, but they don't ask there when I go buy ammo.
Well, they look at you, they see the whitening beard, the receding hairline. Go, oh, this guy's clearly over the age of 30.
Because some people, I know, like Walmart does it regardless. You know that.
Well, they have to punch it in. It's like a prompt. Just like a restaurant has prompts for certain food. Like if you ring in a steak, you have to ring in a temp, or it won't let you go any farther. You know what I mean? A lot of times, if it's an ammo purchase, they have to get your either. I don't know if they swipe your card or if they put in the date or something. I don't know.
Or something like that. But dude, guys, check.
I'm not sure.
Go to Cabela's, see what they do. I swear to God, they just type in a fake birth date and then just scan me through. Just so they don't have to inconvenience me with asking me my birth date. So
that's how Academy does.
They just that's kind of interesting.
It's kind of like how Radio Shack used to always ask for your phone number or area code.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I know. No one out in the chat can remember what Radio Shack was.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, we had one up until just last year.
We had one, but then it turned into another Mexican market.
Oh, gee.
There's like 4 or 5 of them on Main Street now.
Yeah, the closest Radio Shack to here turned into an AT&T store.
Well, that's kind of what they became, because nobody was buying. No one was buying like the little, $100 remote control robots or televisions or stuff. It just became, oh yeah, I need a phone cord.
Yeah, those little build-it-yourself radios.
Yeah, and people could buy, their diodes, their resistors, their little buzzers and blinkies off
Amazon
or DigiKey for, I can get this for, if I order 500, I get them for a penny a piece.
Yeah, but whenever you were like a 10-year-old or 12-year-old and went to the mall with your mom right before Christmas, that was the store to hang out
in. Yeah, dude. Heck yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still wanting one of those little Rob Coin robots they used to have.
Rob Coin? What's that? What do you mean?
Okay, it was a little robot. It was basically just a cylinder, kind of like this can of aluminum polish I've got here for some reason. And it had like a little palm. You put a coin in, you kind of push down on it, then what it would do is it would lift the palm up, and it would actually slide the coin into its mouth, kind of chomp on it a little bit.
Yeah, it would eat your money.
Literally. Yeah, it would literally eat your money. I think it had like a little plastic tongue that would just kind of, like it was licking its lips or something. I don't know.
Well, that's fucking creepy.
It is. And for some reason, I remember it for all these decades later.
They were pretty cool little bank.
Oh yeah, they used to have them at like Walmart's all the time, because they'd have, so like the other hand was just a little claw like this, so you could stick a sign in like, oh, donate to the Lions or Kiwanis here or something like that. Back when Walmart was acting like it cared about small America.
Ape had one and he ruined it by trying to take it into the shower with him one time. It's kung fu grip and licking lips.
Oh, here it is. Okay, yeah, they got them on eBay for $20.
There you go.
There you go.
Pick them up. They're actually starting to go up in price now too. Oh, they got that 1985 robot arm. You remember that one?
Armatron.
Little joysticks on it. Yeah, I think it was awesome, dude. We pissed out so many G.I. Joe guys with that thing.
Well, the hell with gluten-free shit. We'll just get Psycho an Armatron, and you won't need to worry about gluten-free chick no more. Problem solved. Problem solved.
Exactly. I carry my revolver in single action. Says, Circuit City's been dead for probably well over a decade.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Circuit City was gone long before Radio Shack.
Mm-hmm.
Revolver said, if 40 sucks, wouldn't that mean that 10mm super sucks? Sucks harder.
No, that's like Robot.
Oh. Robot. Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
There's your robot.
Revolver says Grandpa Pigeons. What the hell does Grandpa Pigeons mean?
Well, that's the old.
What does that even? I guess.
I don't know.
Is that like
they're the ones that you see flying a little slower than the others?
Oh yeah, there's one.
those robot arms are so loud but still cool. Yeah, they were cool. I use it. Well, it's neat if you had like I was big into GI Joes and stuff too. So if you had, you could always use your Armatron with like some of your other toys. You could grab your GI Joes or your Transformers with them. Transformers especially, because you can pretend you're like on Cybertron or something. It's good combo play right there.
No, the more I look at these, the more they look like minions.
Pretty much, man.
They do.
They do. They look like minions.
Yeah.
I remember that after I seen it on here. I couldn't remember what y'all were talking about until I seen the picture. Like, oh yeah, I remember
Well,
them.
let me look here. Holy smokes! I don't think I've ever seen that thing. Look at that crazy bastard! Holy shit!
Little Robbie robot.
Jesus Christ! That
Yeah, I
thing's
remember those when I was a kid. When I was little, and
thing
I
is
remember that.
demented. God.
What year was that? Like 1990 when that came out, or is that an 80s toy?
I think they're like
was probably early
mid 80s or something like that.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah, they were around for a while.
Yeah.
Then
I
they
was
came
born
out
in
with
'84,
one
and I remember it.
I think it's time to buy one and tabletop review that bad boy. Robbie
Yeah,
the robot.
And
You
later
could put
on, they
other-
came out with one where the head was more of a dome shape.
Jesus.
That's basically the same thing.
It's a wonder we turned out okay.
Yeah, that thing's scary as hell, man.
Just looks like something from like Star Wars or something. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Look at that.
The clerks in the stores probably got rich with them things, having them sitting in there just for display, and every little kid came in there and put a quarter
Oh,
in it just for fun.
It looks
Like,
like
yeah,
the Canadian guys off of South Park.
Put those in the restaurants on all the tables, and that's going to
I'm
be the
not your
tips that you
buddy,
give
guy.
for
I'm not your guy, buddy.
I'm not your guy, buddy. I'm not your guy. I'm not your buddy, pal. I'm not your pal, friend. Yeah.
Apparently,
How'd
department
you know my name
store.
was Buddy?
What a weird
What?
name for a fucking department store.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember Montgomery Ward, but not Grandpa Pigeons.
What?
Oh, Montgomery Ward.
Monkey Ward.
Monkey
yeah.
Ward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seven
John
Wonders.
Thurman.
That's a funny way to spell bastard. When we had a Stretch Armstrong, my brother and I came home from college for break. We pulled that green bass turd. Yeah. So
That's turds.
yeah, pull
Is that what
careful.
was that?
And he didn't read the whole thing until he tore apart. So in other words, they had corn syrup everywhere.
Yeah.
How do you
Say,
know what a
isn't-
bass turd is made of?
Well,
That's what Stretch Armstrong was filled with.
Well, yeah, but they were talking about bass turds, so.
Well, no, he's
well, I
Stretch
thought they were
Armstrong.
talking about what happened after Roll Call ate that bag of catfish bait. Bastards.
God.
Oh, jeez.
He said that was
bad.
Hey, Ellis isn't here.
No, he was on my show early.
He's munching on raccoons, right?
he was.
Was he?
Oh yeah.
Chomping on possums or something.
Munching on
That's what he said he was gonna do.
Seven Wonders is he says, I'm a PG-13 kind of guy unless I'm licking 120-year-old coins.
Oh,
You're demented.
with the coins again.
Well,
Losing it.
better the coin.
That
than the
actually-
coin purses.
That freaking little Robbie robot thing is perfect for Seven Wonders. You should have that laying around the house. It's just lay around putting coins in its mouth all day long.
Yeah.
Have a jar of peanut butter you put them in.
And as a side benefit, he might actually attract the young ladies that he likes.
Here, peanut butter, put the coins in the mouth and it poops out dollar bills. That'd be awesome.
I'm a little concerned the peanut butter might stop it up, though.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a great idea. Definitely not. Revolver says, do I watch Game of Thrones? Yes, I do. We're caught up recently. Love it. We really enjoy it.
Has it restarted yet, or not? Is it going again?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I don't think so, but I think it's soon. I was asking the one guy at work.
2 years since we talked about it on Matt's chat or something, or a year.
Yeah, it seems like a long time. We just finished watching it. We just did the last season like a month or two ago. So we were behind. We don't have it. We just had to wait for it to come out on. It come out on Netflix or something? Or how did we watch it? I guess we watched it on demand. That was one of the things we watched on demand before we had a debacle with letting us watch stuff and not letting us watch stuff.
Oh yeah,
all that jazz, that weirdness. Yeah. Let's see. We'll look at some topics here. Let's see. Well, we got gluten free, but Psycho's not here. To hell. Yeah, Revolver says he started watching it again. It's a great show, man. Awesome. Yeah, we just finished trying to think what happened in the last episode. I mean, the dragon is a zombie now. Just wrecking shit. That's pretty cool. I got stuff written all over the place here. One of the things that I was thinking about the other day while I was listening to the proceeding, or what do you call it? The proceedings, I guess, where they were talking about the Bills 8 and 112, and then it turned into 145, I think, right? Was why they talk about people that are pro-gun, reps or whoever, or people that they have, or people that they talk about, like they'll pro-gun reps, or will talk about individual people that have fought back, or they've been victims, and they should have had a gun, or they had one and it helped them. I just wonder why they don't use more of the strategy of the total number of people in a year that defend themselves, or loved ones or others with guns. It's something that I don't hear a lot. It's something that we talk about a lot, but it's not something that that you hear them say. Or the one person anti-gun will go up and be like, all these people are killed with firearms every year. And I don't understand why you don't hear the next person that's pro-gun jump up there and say, yes, but 1 point something million people were said to have been defended by a gun last year too. Why is that? What do you guys think? Like, why do you not hear them use those stats to defend the use of firearms? I can't figure it out. I just don't know why it's not done more. Is there some sort of negative connotation to that? Like they're saying they don't want to bring up the use of guns at all, because they do. What do you guys think? Run it through.
Well, if you think about it, if it's not the kind of presentation where there's somebody that's there to counter it, if it's like a TV show or something, or I don't know, I guess if maybe you just don't have those statistics on standby when somebody mentions it, you'd have to be in that situation where somebody actually says it for you to counter it.
Well, yeah, but
anybody here would know that, but
yeah, but at the hearings the other day, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, yeah.
At the proceedings, and one person comes up and says, 30,000 people were killed with guns.
Yeah.
Why isn't there somebody jumping up on the pro-gun side saying these amount of people have been saved by the use of a firearm? And Ghost says many self-protections don't get reported, no way to track. But there's
the biggest thing of that is you would have to have somebody that was actually pro-gun. I think that's the biggest thing, because I don't believe a lot of those that even stand up for it, they know half of what they should.
Mm-hmm. That's what Pfeiffer's saying. He says because few politicians are actually pro-gun.
Yeah, I think they're in name or something like that. But I mean, if you actually went to one of those guys that are supposedly pro-gun and you had a conversation, I don't believe it would be too productive. I don't think there would be actually a conversation. But that's just me. The
He says
positive
it's
guy.
just something they use to get votes. Yeah, I just
also be the they might be afraid that the left will just spin that as being another instance of gun violence. Because anything involving a gun with the left is going to be spun as being gun violence. Even if
but that's not necessarily.
good.
But it doesn't have to be gun violence. It
Well,
could
but they'll
be
spin it that way. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't
right. But what I'm
have to be, but they will spin it that way and make it sound like it is.
I'm just, especially over the past like year or two or whatever, since I've been involved more, it keeps running through my head. Like, why don't I hear people? You hear people say it, but not on a big stage like that. People don't get up on that stage where everybody's talking shit about guns and talking trash about them and saying that they're horrible and all blah, blah, blah. Where's the person that stands up there and all they say is, well, here's a stat. And it was, 1 million people were used a firearm to defend themselves and not even shooting the gun. And that's where, I think it even becomes more powerful is that having it, deters somebody from doing something. I don't know. I just, it's kind of weird. Like, I don't really get it. I don't get why you don't hear about it more on a large stage like that. What's going on, Ghost?
What's going on? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Always.
I think Chris,
go
ahead. You go ahead, Patriot.
No, I was just saying, I think it would be interesting to make a list of those supposed, pro-gun reps, and actually contact them and actually see if they have, some of those stats. Because I'm sure that, in their whirlwind of all the knowledge that they have, I don't believe most of them, actually pay attention to that kind of stuff. I mean, unless they're hanging out on gun channels or, listen to some chats, I don't see a lot of people understanding that information or paying attention to it even.
That's kind of what I was.
But isn't it kind of a no-brainer? Like all these years, people. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like what I almost feel like it bugs the shit out of me because I'm like, okay, is there something that I'm missing? What am I missing? What am I missing here? Because if you can have person after person after person after person say that these people were wrongly, that were killed with a firearm or assaulted with a firearm wrongly, you hear that over and over and over and over and over again, and you're pro-gun, or you're pro-gun. Why doesn't that automatically jump into your head as a retaliation? I'm like, what? Am I missing something? Is there some downside to saying that? And that's what I couldn't figure out.
Well, one thing. Oh God.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, man. One thing that really caught my attention at the hearings, the people that were standing up for defensive use of the firearms, when they were, I don't know if they were proposing amendments or proposals or whatnot. They were representing like certain parts of the industry, but not necessarily just the average gun owner. There were a few ranchers that were speaking out, talking about how it would be difficult if there were, transfer requirements and whatnot for one rancher to pass off the rifle to another rancher to go watch the herd and whatnot. You're right. You didn't really hear the average Joe just saying, here's some gun stats for you. And then just go down the list of, this many people were saved with it, this many people saved themselves, or recorded defensive uses, or, but yeah, we just didn't get just that. There was nobody testifying for that. Maybe it's happening more on the state level when people are lobbying for gun rights, but didn't really see it on the national level recently.
Why didn't they? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, bud.
Oh, I was just gonna say, why didn't they have? Why don't they have people there that actually did use guns for defensive gun uses? Why don't they have, not victims, but people that would have been victims without their firearm there?
Well, they did talk about some. I mean, I know it's a pretty fast-paced thing where they only get so much time and all that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, it's it's pretty tough to form a strategy when you only got 5 minutes or something. But I guess when you think about it, 5 minutes is pretty long to spout out some stats.
Isn't that committee in charge of who got to talk? I mean,
well, that is true.
You have the minority and the majority leader of each house to figure out who's talking.
Yeah, But I still believe the guys that were talking, they were fed what they were supposed to say, because they were talking, the guys that talked about the ranchers, they had already went over all that. That was the information that they were supposed to put out. The lady that had the 17 amendments or whatever from Louisiana, was it, or Arizona?
Lasky, yeah, she
had a lot of stuff that was good, but it was fine points, it seemed, and I didn't see anyone that actually had, even just a basic.
There was one that I saw that I think is an actual gun person, and that was the representative from Virginia. He did about a 1 minute thing, 1.5 minutes, and he was really good. And he wasn't reading from a script; he was talking. So I think he actually might be real.
Okay, but that's what
he was
I think
the only one, yeah.
Where the people that did talk, if that's something that we should try to push and contact them and ask them. Instead of always just going for the people, pushing everybody, if we should focus on some of those guys that are the proponents and kind of say, hey, you might want to check this kind of information out. I mean, I would
like to think also is why are we not exploiting the CDC report that came out? This is a report that Obama ordered, and it completely backfired on the information that was reported. Why are we not exploiting the government CDC, the CDC report that Obama had ordered? Because those actually make it, reality instead of what they say it is. Their CDC report says that they only estimate 11,000 non-suicide deaths per year by firearm. That's a staggering number than 60,000,
I don't know. I've always wondered that and how they try to bury it afterwards.
It still leads to the.
Go ahead, Patriot.
I just was going to say, it still leads me to think that the guys that are that are supposed to be proponents and fighting for these things, that they're kind of limited on what they know, because that's what they've kind of been explained. Whoever's talking to them kind of set them up and line them up with things. And the ones that they, suggest themselves. But I don't think there's an overreaching, this gun lobby that's supposed to be talking about everybody. I don't think that there's really, a lot that are pushing for it. I mean, the GOA and FPC and all the people that do talk to them, I'm sure that they mention stuff, but I don't know if they got to the people that talked this time.
So maybe that's, we always talk about strategies and stuff like that. Like maybe that's something that should be focused on, is letting, if you're going to write letters and emails and maybe talk to people and that kind of stuff, your reps, maybe it's more of our job to teach them how to fight for our rights than we thought, give them, just like we're always talking about, like, oh, how do you deal with a an anti-gunner when you talk to them? What do you say to them? What do you do? You know what I mean? maybe that's more of our job than we realize, to not just say that guns are good to them, those yahoos, but to actually say, here's why. Did you know that? Did you know this? Have you ever heard this? Sorry, man, I'm starting to get a cough. So that's kind of, I think maybe that's a motivator that we need to look at ourselves, and instead of talking to them about broad firearms in a broad spectrum, is whittle it down to certain points, and certain, not topics, but bullet points, kind of, what I mean? Like, this is how many, the CDC says this is how many are actually non-suicides. It's not that many, She says they
also estimate that 1.2 million people use firearms in self-defense per year.
Right.
Once again, it's an estimate. There's no way to track it, but 1.2 million is a staggering number also.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean. Even if you would take it down to the point where, and people say, well, you can't prove if somebody assaults you, or you think they're going to assault you, you pull a gun and they take off. Like, I could see an anti-gunner saying, well, they might not have been doing anything, or they could fluff that. But in instances where people actually fire their guns at an attacker, and that's going to be recordable. I mean, I could see where people say they don't, like, oh, a lot of people pull a gun, they never even report it. Like, okay, that's whatever. But if you actually fire a gun or fire and hit somebody, that's recordable. That's a number that's out there somewhere. I'd be interested to see what that number is. And that's kind of irrefutable, because that's a case where somebody shot somebody. And if they shot somebody wrongly, you would know. So if they weren't in the wrong, then that means they're in the right, right? That's a simplified way to put it, I guess. G says, we educate them. They represent us. How do they know what we want if we just send angry notes?
And that's kind of a little segue, too. I just want to mention this, the form letters that we send, right? I send them, daily, because I'm a jerk. But you get your random response letters. I know in the pre-chat I mentioned it, but I get a lot from one of my reps, and he's actually here in my hometown. And today I actually read through, and towards the very end of the email, it said, oh, by the way, this email is for outgoing only. If you want to really contact me, go to my website. And so all the stuff that has been sent to this guy on his official, Congress, whatever email is basically nothing. It's just out there. So you might want to, actually check those auto replies and make sure that they're actually getting the information.
These guys don't check their own email. They have staffers do that for them, and they very rarely will see their own.
But that's the thing. Nobody sees it because it's a outgoing only, and it's just an automated response. So, yeah, that was just something I found out tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm flooding the website.
There you go. Just go back and re-forwarded what you already forwarded. Go back into your sent box.
Yep.
That'll work.
And it's funny because on the website, there's, check what this issue is, or, what is this concerning? And they list everything. I mean, from, agriculture to, commercial stuff, and of course I put it under civil rights because that's what it is. So that's it.
G said, what did G say out here? He said, if they don't want guns on the streets or in the hands of individuals because they fear gunfights, you're gonna convince who with stories of gunfights? I understand that. If they don't want them there in use at all, they don't want them there in use. We want them to understand us. We need to attempt to understand them. They don't value self-defense. That sounds crazy, but it's probably true. I think at some point, it is. I mean, at some stage,
they don't have to worry about self-defense because they're guarded by Secret Service. They don't understand what self-defense is.
No, I'm not talking. Thanks for the link. I'm not talking about Hillary Clinton. Let's talk about the actual people that are voting.
Yep.
That's somebody's grandpa or grandma or the librarian or some cop or somebody in the butcher shop or whatever. So if they don't have an interest to where they're going to value self-defense and they fear it because they don't have any interest in it other than what they see in the movies maybe, or just no comprehension at all. They don't want gunfights in the streets because they're told there's gunfights in the streets. I'm just saying that's I suspect why they don't use that as a strategy, because I agree with that. That if the person is anti gunfights, then you're not going to impress them with a bunch of gunfights.
Yeah, I understand that. I can see that.
I think I did type it in there. We want them to understand our point of view, but we need to attempt to understand their points of view. So we need to listen. And there was a lot of valuable stuff said at the, if you want to call it hearings or whatever they're called, to give us insight to their point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I don't disagree with you. We need to do something, right? And I think it's our job to educate. So politicians that were up there representing us didn't do a good job of it. Is that their fault or is it our fault? I think it's both.
Right. Right.
So,
I think that's a good way to
put it. Is there
put
a
it.
book out there? Is anyone here? There's 10 people in here, and I don't know how many people watching. I'm on the Gun Channel side. Is there a book out there that gives just nothing but a bunch of bullet points, a spiral bound pamphlet that's just a bunch of bullet points? I've never seen such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's nothing that we can expect a politician to just pick up and understand and acknowledge. I mean, they're dealing with, can you imagine what they're dealing with as far as issues? I mean, there's only 365 days a year. I don't know how many days they work. They have to travel and they have to live a life. And then they also have to deal with every other political issue out there. And we're expecting, because we are an interest in this, for them to be savvy. So I think that that's an opportunity for us and a challenge for us, and it's an obligation of us. It's a responsibility of ours to put information out there. At least it's an opportunity for us to put information out there. And if a politician or somebody who has access to a politician sees it and it's concise and it's efficient and it explains it in a good way, then we have an opportunity to educate a politician, the next representative who's up there defending us against the antis. And if the antis see it, maybe they start going, hey, wait a minute, I'm wrong this whole time. The wool's been pulled over my eyes. So I'll offer an alternative too, and just a strategy. So if we're trying to get them to change their mind on all this, why not focus on the safety? Violence is down, gun violence is down, school stuff is down. Focus on the definition of what they call it. I was just watching Gun Gals, and they were just talking to the trauma jock. He was talking about how procedures have changed since Columbine, where they do not go in and render aid to bleeding people where they used to. So when a paramedic from Vietnam, a medic from Vietnam was never going to be told, don't go into that building and save children because it's not safe, right? When you didn't grow up in Vietnam, or, you didn't learn medical stuff under fire, I went to paramedic school in 97, I think, 98. And at that time, it was already like, you don't go near a scene until there's cops there and they have determined that it's safe, because paramedics are getting killed. It's not like they're cowards. They were getting killed, right? So we live in a world where the life-saving methods have changed. Why don't we talk about that? They say that they want to save lives. There was an attempt by the people who are debating them and trying to put amendments out there to suggest none of these things you suggest would come close to having solved any of the issues of the past. So I think that there's ways that we can explain it cerebral, is that the right word? Or maybe emotionally to the people that are antis right now, instead of this like, well, we need guns because of violence and we're ready to take violence head on and tyranny. And then let's talk about tyranny. They're going to, well, I'll let people else talk, but I think there's solutions, and it's our job to educate politicians so that as representatives, they can truly represent us. They can't read our fucking mind.
I'm sorry, I'm writing shit down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have some questions on that. So were you meaning like, and I think I understand it and I think it sounds really good, but you're basically saying we should maybe go at it from the angle of not why we need guns, but why their ideas aren't going to work.
Thank you for saying it much more succinctly. Yes. In other words, in a way that is, we think of it from their perspective and the things that are going to fall short. We know that we've had all these years of things falling short. Quit going with those attacks. The best part is that they're defending against those attacks. All their regurgitated catchphrases are against this attack that we consistently give them. When we start to open their eyes, they don't know what to say. Then they go home with questions. But yeah, challenge the efficiency or the effectiveness or whatever the word is of their laws that they're suggesting. And another angle, I guess I'm freaking going on another diatribe. One of the things that they blew off was that like all guns are violent. Like that was just a given. suppressors. What did she say? What did the guy say about suppressors? Made most of us want to freaking spit, right? Oh, those are criminal. Like, it's just ridiculous. It would be like a cartoon. It would be like a cartoon absurdity if it wasn't happening. So there's education on both sides. Where there's the antis, and I've been saying this for years. I've built freaking gun channels for this so that people can put their own content out there. And boring ass grandpa so and so or crazy aunt so and so who also goes shooting. You know, that content, that contribution is what's going to stop these people from suggesting that all gun owners are creepy Nazis in the dark rooms of basements or something. And honestly, I mean, it's hard to say, but I want to say that we can all take credit that after 2004, we didn't get the assault weapons ban right back because they were still scared. There has been plenty of opportunity for them to throw gun stuff back on there, but I think it's our efforts at getting awareness out there. YouTube, big part of that. Hickok, all the people we like to scorn. NRA, you know, normalizing gun ownership and stuff. Eddie the Eagle, even though they don't allow it in schools. All those efforts, if they wouldn't have existed, would we have guns today? Ask ourselves honestly that. If none of that stuff was there, none of these people that we scorn because they're not winning right now, would we even be here today if they weren't there?
Very good points.
Solid question, man. You know, with the data out there for us to defend our side and put the data and the figures out there, it would be nice to have some sort of a place to go to get that data without having to hunt it all down. A simple guide that I could have on standby, you know?
Yeah, we should all be competing to put the most efficient, good data out there, and then it would be just a buffet of just awesome data they could pull from.
I mean, look at all the stats they throw out there on gun violence, you know, opposing gun ownership. Why not put the other side out there? You're right. You don't hardly ever see it at all. News, media, never.
So let's do that, right? I mean, it's not hard. Hit the internet when you have time and try and find some studies and specs and stats. Make notes on where you got it from so it's legit, you know, not Wikipedia, anybody can change it kind of stuff. And take a week or two and let's everybody try and come up with some really good stuff and see if we can compile it. And then find a great place to put it where everybody can reference it, you know, use it, or possibly like G said, I think G said, you know, if you're going to send an email to you're going to send an email or a letter, send an email and a letter with that attached to it and say, hey, did you know this? Here's, you know, a little food for thought, or here, we want to, you know, give you some information. Scott P79 says one name, John Lott. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a big problem. What G was saying also is they regurgitate the same stats over and over because we use the same argument over and over. Right. And the stats do get old, but so does our argument. And there's only two things that you ever hear. One is self-protection, and two, the Second Amendment. Well, you know what? That's what they're fighting. They're saying that the Second Amendment is an archaic amendment. That's what they're saying. So we can't keep going back to the well saying, well, we need guns because the Second Amendment affords us the right to have guns. And they're saying we don't think the Second Amendment is what it means when it meant in 1776. They're saying that 1780, or whenever the Bill of Rights were created, they're saying that that's an archaic law. And that's like, we can't keep going back because of Second Amendment. And not just their legislators, but ourselves. We can't sit and rely on the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is there, but they're attacking the Second Amendment. They're trying to prove a point that it is an archaic law. So even not just the legislators, but we all have to create our own different approach of attacking, because we can't just say the Second Amendment, because that's their argument. They're saying that they're trying to repeal the Second Amendment, in case you guys aren't wondering. So it's not just the legislators, guys. It's all of us. We can't rely on the same arguments every single time.
So, Fine Ape in this is saying, you know, business card or booklet. G said a postcard. I think a postcard would be awesome too, man. Because could you imagine a postcard front and back with all positive gun stats and information?
They won't see them.
what are those things called now where they'll put like the number big and then the words around it, and then it looks kind of like a blackboard or a whiteboard maybe, and like kind of like a menu board. There's like a style now where they make text. They're not really memes, they're like infographics like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I was talking about if you've seen it. Kind of looks. Think of like a
QR
going
code.
into like a bakery. No, I think like going into a bakery and they like hand draw their menu each day.
Oh, like a yeah.
There's apps where you can just type stuff in and it turns it into like an appealing graphical version of a bunch of numbers, so it doesn't look boring as shit.
Remember also that we have to understand that every legislative body that we elect is required by law to spend certain amount of days in his or her district and take meetings. So you need to find out when your congressman or senator is going to be in town and request a meeting. If you request a meeting, they're required by a law to meet with you. So not only do you need to do your pamphlet or your page or your book or your spiral notebook or whatever of the bullet points, instead of mailing it to them, request a meeting with them face to face and hand it to them so you know they're going to get it.
Imagine if 50 people would take us up on this and would accumulate the info, present it in a way, schedule an appointment, meet with them, and then do an after action. So those are 5 steps, I think. And those would be 5 videos. And if 50 people did that, just like the 50 chicks that go down to Washington, D.C., and like take their time and money to go to Washington, D.C. and talk to representatives from theirs and other states, so that the representatives and each other learn what it's like down there. Instead of having to do any of that, you could just sit on our asses and 50 people, one for each state. Imagine what that would have. Well, I guess you wouldn't have to sit on your ass when you went down to the Capitol, but whenever you're close to the Capitol, perhaps it's not for a big infringement on you. Then yeah, imagine what would happen if 50 people started doing that. I doubt you'd be alone. As soon as somebody started doing that, other people would be interested in helping.
I would think so too. I mean,
that's like a step higher than
yeah.
Like Never Enough Ammo thinks he's so good with his whole like 2A rallies or whatever. That's like totally old fashioned, like the olden days they did. It's like a 2A flash mob, except even better.
2A flash mob.
Grandpa Ammo.
That article I just put in the internal. I'm on 2 separate computers on my other chat, but somebody can throw it out there. It's pretty interesting, and I found it on one of my shows, and I know G-Webs was there. We talked about it, but it's kind of what you guys were just talking about. It's the arguments to fight against the same arguments that we keep making pro-gun. It's their answers to it, and it's pretty interesting to read. Everybody should read that.
It's like their version of what we just talked about, right?
Yeah. So it's really interesting to sit down and read. I just had to go back and find it.
And it is, because again, I've been experienced it, and it wasn't until afterwards that someone shook me by the collar and said, you have to listen to the other people. And then once I understood that, I thought back, and I don't remember when anymore because it was a long time ago, but we had a chat, and there was somebody in here and they were not just playing devil's advocate. Like, they seriously would rather die than have somebody killed. So it was, people were perplexed because they were saying like, well, what if somebody came up and murdered you? You wouldn't want to defend yourself. Like, no, that's just another murder. I mean, there's people that have different mindsets, and there's nothing our mindset is going to do to change their mindset, right? We're not going to change their whole perspective on life or whatever, but we can certainly frame the argument in a way that like their perceptions are based that all gun owners are a bunch of dicks, and that we're all violent and looking to hurt people, and that we're somehow racist, when really all this anti stuff is the racist side. And then there's that. We didn't even talk about that, but there's these, other ways to approach these people that don't go head to head with like well, for some of them at least, like a thing that's just, as close to morally objectionable as they have. Or maybe it is morally objectionable. I don't want to assume nothing, but I know there's people that would, if you say, well, somebody's breaking into your house and your kids are there, like, well, it's our time. There are people.
Yeah,
there are.
Yeah.
I've met people that literally feel that way. There's no way they could take another human's life, even if they were going to kill their family.
And I understand that, and I get that. That doesn't mean that I can't.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's what we've got to work on more than anything is quit letting them paint the picture that we are, that because right now they're turning it around to gun owners are bad people. They've gave up on blaming the guns, and now they're just, it's the gun owners are terrible.
The guns are demonized, but yeah, we're the somehow facilitators of this demon, and we're letting the NRA be our figurehead. Like they're all pointing at the NRA, and we're letting.
Well, that's what people always say. Like, "Oh, my gun never did anything. My gun never did anything by itself. It's on the table. It never jumped up." And an anti-gunner will say, "Yeah, we know. It's you. You're the problem."
Yeah.
Well, their gun did do something. The fact that their gun is there not only stopped the local neighborhood criminal from becoming a criminal, but it stopped the local organized crime from tyrannizing the neighborhood or the area or corrupting the government. And it stopped in every single day, those millions of guns, there's as many guns as there are cars. That's what stops a tyrannical government. A tyrannical government can't survive. It's like this Petri dish is hostile to that life. So to suggest that it has to get to like a boiling point where there's bullets going back and forth is ridiculous. And letting them frame the argument that we think that we are going to go stand in front of the tank like that guy in Tiananmen Square, except with an AR-15 against like our M1 tank, is ridiculous. And if they're going to allow that absurd, farce, it represent what the Second Amendment actually does. It's that gun sitting on a table that stops tyranny, and they have a logical gap there. They'll say that like cow starving will stop the globe from getting warmer, but they can't see that individual freedom and lack of fear of your neighbors is what stops organized crime. They say that 50 BMG shouldn't be legal because in Mexico cartels are using it to shoot at police cars. And then they suggest that we shouldn't have them here. Well, the 50 BMGs here stop the organized crime from corrupting the police. So they put a gap in their own logic, and they would, I'm sure if you asked them, they're going to say they're smarter than us. They know more about logic and, all that. So they're just not focusing on these things that we have an opportunity to, illuminate.
I mean, even if you dumb that down, even on a lot lower level, just, the everyday criminal, I mean, you kind of touched on that. The everyday criminal, if they knew there was no one going to protect themselves, why not just walk into a house and take their TV? If they're just going to say, okay, take it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a thing probably 5 or 6 years ago.
That's the status quo, because those countries are poor. Those countries don't count because they're the wrong color. Like these racist sorry, I don't know if we're allowed to swear in here or not. These racist will not, acknowledge that Mexico is horrible and it's 100 miles from where I'm standing right now. And, they're going to suggest that we have to be like some country that they hand pick. And that's what I'm saying. We can illuminate so much of their fraud or their deception with their, well, like I say, they kind of own the conversation when they're in the control, but it's the same way the other way around. I'm sure they're going to, well, they did say it a whole bunch of times during the debates that it was the same way for 8 years, the opposite way. They couldn't get anything in. Of course, their stuff is delusional and crazy, and they can't justify any of it to actually stop any crime, but they still have a right to bring it up, even if it is stupid. That way our system works.
Yeah, I think you may be definitely onto a point there that may be a better way to argue our side is just, not the gun fights per se, but just the fact that the guns just being there, or the ability for the guns to be there, and the ability for the defensive factor is a big deterrent to crime or tyrannical government or whatever.
About 5 or 6 years ago, I don't know if it was 2020 or Nightline, but 60 Minutes, it was one of those nighttime news sources. And they went to the top 4 high security prisons in America, and they interviewed convicts.
I've seen that.
And they straight up asked them if you knew that there was a gun where you were robbing or whatever, would you still rob it? And they was like, nope. To a T, every 100% of them said they would not even consider going to a house they knew that it was armed. Hello, the criminals are telling you that it works. They're literally telling you that I would not go to a house if I knew that they were armed.
And that means that if a neighborhood has the ability to be armed, then that whole neighborhood's questionable.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right.
Putting that doubt in a criminal's mind. Well, should I do it? Should I not do it? I don't know.
But then there's this gun-free zone, so
That might be the biggest travesty that's ever happened. I'm serious. As far as the gun community goes, the gun-free zone might be the biggest thing as far as public safety that's ever been passed.
Mm-hmm.
You can say what you want to about the NFA and all that. Making areas against the law to have weapons is an outright crime.
Yeah, I have to agree there.
Somebody out in the chat had thrown something out there earlier. And I don't know if it was...
People often just throw stuff into your chat. I thought that was...
yeah. Middle fingers, all sorts of
I
stuff.
just think it's a big frying pan of topics.
Yeah.
You know?
And they said like gunstats.com or something. I don't know if that's what they were saying we should do or if that's a thing. I don't know.
It doesn't exist.
Okay.
It does not.
Yeah, maybe they were saying that's what we should start then.
There you go, G. There's just one more to repertoire right there.
Somebody owns it already. It just doesn't. They're not doing anything with it, but it's owned.
It's probably Night Striker, somebody that doesn't really like guns.
God.
I don't know.
Well, that's what I hear, though. I mean, like you say, it might be Night Strike because I'm sure Night Strike's same as me. He'll buy a domain if he's got the interest in it or whatever, or somebody that doesn't like guns, and that's what I'm worried about. Is some asshole owns Gun Show Loophole, and it just points to iTunes. So it's an anti-gunner. I can't imagine any pro-gun person will allow Gun Show Loophole to just literally just points to iTunes, not even like an iTunes account, just iTunes. At least last time I looked. That's frustrating as hell. So I got Charleston Loophole, which is actually worth something finally, because it wasn't, Clinton acted like she was going to say something about it, and then I bought that domain. Like, this was the first time I saw her speech say something about Charleston Loophole, and and then don't do anything with it really, but because it wasn't really a thing for them. But it looks like now they're using the word a lot more, so I'm glad I got it. I had a couple other.
They used it several times during the Florida debate.
The other day, yeah, it was a hot one.
I had unlicensed seller, and I had something about the dealer. They had something about I don't know. There was a couple of them during Obama's thing. I grabbed them because that's the thing. They'll buy them, and then they'll point them to stupid policy, stupid place, or like mom's demand stupidness or whatever crap. So. I don't like them to own those things. So, yeah, I mean, they don't cost that much to buy them. If you see one that's available, let me or Night Strike or somebody that's interested know. A good one or something that they start bringing up because they're idiots. They don't necessarily go out and buy. They don't even know how the internet works. They don't go buy their domains before they start using something as part of their jargon.
Yeah, I learned the hard way.
You should look up realgunstats.com.
Well, that gun one, I don't know. That gunstats.com is just sitting there dead. So,
or true gun stats,
or anti
true gun stats or something.
You guys have seen Hey Jackass, the website Hey Jackass with all the Chicago stats. Go look at HeyJackass.com. It's all the Chicago stats. It's very much like I guess what I was actually envisioning, maybe something like that. But anyway, it's for just Chicago. It's pretty neat. It's tongue in cheek, but it's legit and it's eye opening.
So, all right, that was a good conversation. Do you guys? I mean, is that something that everybody thinks is a project that should be started?
I mean, you can just have a sub page on self-defense shootings, or you could have sexual assault preventions. I mean, rape stop. You don't want to maybe go by category or type or.
Well, I'm thinking about it as far as
I've got
compiling.
I'm gonna drop something in the YouTube chat that's important.
Okay.
Okay.
Why can't here's a little thought also. Instead of trying to compile everyone doing their own project, everyone that has their own website, and a lot of people here in this chat have their own website. Maybe we could dedicate a page on our own websites to gun stats. Maybe it could be state level stats for for me for Arkansas or whatever. If you start compiling stats and you put them on your put a page on your website, at least people that go to your website can at least visualize that.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about it too, as like we were talking about as far as educating our reps. A website is cool, and you could do some business cards or something, or email to link them to that. But to actually get something physical in their hand, what's the best way to do it other than actually giving it to them yourself? And
The
sending
only
them
way
an
you're
email
guaranteed that they're going to get it is if you give it to themselves. Chances are, if you mail it, some staffer is going to get it, and they're filtering what they think is important to give it to the congressman or senator.
Right.
Unfortunately,
right.
Maybe you mail one. Maybe you make about 12 copies of it, and you mail one to them every month. So eventually they're going to get sick of you getting it. And then also maybe give it to them in hand or whatever. Email them every month. Send one in the mail to them every month. Put a postage on there. Get their address. Mail it every month. Email a PDF copy of it every month. And then give it to them in person. Eventually they're going to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wouldn't take each one of us that have a website, a short amount of time, maybe an hour of our time, and then to set up that page and then go back, once a month even and update it with new.
Yeah, and you can also link other
websites
that are out there. Link everybody else's websites. Hey, if you're in Kansas, here's Gary Gizzard, Gizzard Gary's page for his. Here's Snobs for Oklahoma. Here's so and so and so and so and so and so. Link all of our pages together.
Well, wait a minute. We built Every Second Matters, and it has a page for every single state, and everybody could just.
Oh, there you go. Maybe we just link to Every Second Matters. Also, it's right there. Also, put a link on mine. I have a link for 2A things, so I have links to the NRA. I have FPC. I have for GOA, for SAF. Put links out there not only for the stats, but put links out there to organizations that are pro 2A. There's a lot of people that have never heard of the Second Amendment Foundation or the FPC or the GOA. The casual gunner might only know the NRA. They don't realize there's other alternatives.
And unfortunately, when you look up the the pro firearm stats, are going to be directed to the same 4 or 5 websites. The first couple, your Google search or whatnot, it might be kind of nice to dig into the what's presented to you as websites to go visit to try to find other sources of information, maybe aside from the same old every time.
Yeah, current
NRA, GOA.
People tend to start copying and pasting links, and then things
Yep.
change, and then all of a sudden the links are dead. You don't even know because you didn't check, and yeah, that's pretty sloppy.
Links to the CDC report. I mean, that's a report that the Democrats are afraid to even bring up because Obama ordered the CDC report and it came back and it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. So if we want them to start using it and we want people to start realizing that the CDC agrees with us, link the CDC report.
Yep.
I know what I'll be doing tomorrow morning.
Should probably unmute. I mean, G, you know more about this stuff than I do. Like, I don't know much about John Lott. I've never, I know he's awesome at what he does, right? But, does he have a place that's sort of like this, that's got a bunch of stuff compiled that's easily accessible? And what's it called?
John's thing is called, what is it? It's not firearm policy. It's firearms research, maybe, but it's compiled. Whether or not it's easily digestible, he's an economist and he likes spreadsheets, so thorough, and it's well documented. But I don't know. I can't really say that it's like a bullet point type of thing.
Right, but that's what I mean. Like, to make it, to have somewhere for us to go to find stuff and put it more in like I said, I don't know much about him and how he writes, but to be able to put it in like a bullet point format in like layman's terms, just really quick things.
Crimeresearch.org. I'll throw the link.
Yeah.
Crimeresearch.org.
So John Lott is an author. He was a economist and like a numbers guy for a living at like federal level, working for the government. And in the process of doing something, I think is the way it was described. He, because I listened to him describe it a couple of times. I think he was doing his government job, and he started to realize that the gun numbers hadn't existed well, or they weren't documented well or whatever, and he started to look into it, and it turned obvious that it was really racist the way the system is set up, and that basically there's all these gaps, there's these these missing pieces. So he started to do research, and he's written a couple of books, More Guns, Less Crime, and others. And like I say, it's complete and it's documented, but it's what's the word for like college level, like it's like not
academic.
Yeah, it's very academic. Thanks.
It's hard. Yeah, I sent you his newsletter, and it has all the links for all the places. I'll send one to you to Midnight and Ghost. If you want
I
it.
get his newsletter, by the way.
Yeah. Okay.
It looks like this is his website, so it's very cram packed.
Mm-hmm.
But his mind is very dense. So he's definitely got a lot of stuff here, and he's done a lot of stuff over the years. So it's sort of like anybody, when you started creating content, you've accumulated your library of stuff, and you don't need to redo it again. So he's done a lot of stuff that's exists, and it's in these links and stuff, and a lot of it is really neat, like fact checking the media. Like a lot of it's valid stuff, and it maybe could be updated, but it's big projects. These sort of indicate a whole bunch of big projects that he's done over the years. So a lot of it would be, again, it's great content for somebody who's interested in creating a channel, and you're looking for something to do, and you don't have the coolest guns, or you're not hanging out at the coolest gun shops, or you're not into all that stuff, but you are interested in doing something interesting that might further everybody, dig into John Lott stuff. Like I say, he's definitely done the work. Pulling up some of his research and spreading it around again could do nothing but good. The data's good, and getting a fresh look at it would be good. Stirring it up would be good. You never know when you're going to give somebody else an idea, and they're going to go, "Oh, that gives me an idea. I'm going to go to the next level."
Now, with his stuff on the website, does he have where he's gotten his information from?
Oh yeah, he can't talk to you without telling you where yes, definitely. Everything is definitely well documented. Yeah. The height of it, like you'll look at it and go like, oh, this is what it's like when you're at the like federal government level of like writing research papers. Like this is wordy.
Serious. Serious shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading some of his stuff. This is probably 3 or 4 years ago, and the NRC back, I don't know, mid-2000s, late 2000s, somewhere in there, tried to debunk most of his findings and couldn't, and actually came out and said that the shall issue right to carry states actually drove down murder rates. So they were trying to debunk his stuff and couldn't. So that just tells you how solid it is.
And then like a bunch of people who are like, hey, send us money. I don't think I've ever heard him say anything about sending him money other than selling books when he's at a book signing where like people show up to talk to him about his book, right? Aside from that venue, he's never even mentioned the word money. And here he is in February testifying. It's for Pittsburgh City Council on universal background checks, red flag laws. And here he is doing a thing from the 15th on congressman using his info during the universal background check bill. So they were using some of his info, I guess. I've met with him a couple of times. He goes to the gun rights policies conference usually, sometimes at SHOT Show. and then he's done like book tours and stuff.
Well, I'm really like, I'm really interested in doing something. I'm like seeing something done. I have a hard time doing anything, but it'd be really cool and this is something that I've talked about before too for myself, is having something really simplified and accurate, and provable, where you got the information. For talking points. Yeah, for talking points and to like, now in this instance, I really didn't even think about it until tonight, is getting that information to the people that can, I don't want to say do something about it. That sounds like we can't do anything about it. I don't want to be negative like that, but the people that are actually on the front line saying, fighting for in those courtrooms or in those, offices or whatever, in those meetings, and saying, well, here's this, and this has happened. So you're full of shit. So
remember,
I don't know.
Though, a lot of times that they don't care about our stats. The antis could care less about our stats. They're fighting our stats with emotions, and that's how they get such an uproar from the people a lot. And so we need to continue to use the stats, but I think we also need to understand that we need to start using common sense and emotion also. And, it's something like I heard someone at SHOT Show say that if you can get them to say that they have kids and more than one kid, and you're having a debate with someone, and they say, if one of your kid comes home late for curfew, are you going to punish both kids because that one kid messed up? Well, no. So why are you trying to punish all gunners because there's a couple crazies out there? Start using stuff like that where you're not using stats. You're actually making it down to earth, simple for them to understand that we're not saying that you're necessarily wrong about everything you're saying, but you're just unfair to the law-abiding side. We all agree we don't want criminals with guns in their hands. I think every single person in this room, if you actually polled us in an honest poll, none of us want criminals with guns in their hands because they make us look bad. So why are they trying to punish us for them? You start talking common sense like that, maybe they'll start to listen.
Mm-hmm. I see it too as like we were watching the hearing, right? A bunch of us were watching it and commenting, and I feel like we kept, like, I know I did. I kept waiting for somebody to get up there and like really, and some of them did. They were really energetic and they did great. But I kept waiting for them to, and that's what got me thinking about this was I kept waiting for them to start throwing stats up on our side. And like the things that those people say might not be heard at the time live by a whole lot of people. Like thousands of people or whatever, but that's not much compared to the whole United States. You know what I mean? So we were there watching it and other people were watching, I'm sure. And lots of people were, but not to the point where it's like millions and millions of people were watching it live, but they will see the headlines, of the things that people said, if the media lets them, but which is a problem in itself. But like the wave that happens afterwards is, I think what is important is, the newspaper or the online article that shows somebody, coming up and saying some of the things we're talking about, and maybe swaying the public. It's as much swaying the public as it needs to be swaying the representative themselves, right? Because the public can then in turn push the representative like we're talking about. I don't know. I'm just trying to motivate. I'm trying to be a little positive.
I agree with you. I mean, regardless if it's working or if it's useful, like you said, there are talking points and there are press snippets that could be utilized. They're utilizing the hell out of them. Why are we not fighting the same battle?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to say in a really shitty way, probably. is like, when somebody turns on their computer and CNN pops up or whatever pops up on as your default, header, and if that's one of the, Senator so-and-so says, so-and-so, and it has in quotation marks, 500% more people were saved with firearms than killed or something like that. Like that's just something that people would click on. Like, oh, that's a big ass number, and they might click on that.
I tell you the one that I was really upset about, and we all sat there like, what, the whole time, but no one ever called them on it. The fact that they kept saying that 97% of Americans want gun control, want common sense gun control. Why not one Republican ever challenged that stat really upset me.
I'm gonna jump in and Ghost. I watched that show that day. Hi everybody. Thanks for the link, Midnight. I watched your show that day, and all the hee-hawing around, and the thing that got me the most was when the representative from Florida that was a co-sponsor went, I'm not a co-sponsor anymore because it's against illegal aliens. I went, yeah, okay, that's politics. But you're exactly right. That
was see, people don't realize how beautiful that amendment was. It had nothing to do with the gun community. That was a beautiful ploy.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I'm just saying you're exactly right, because why didn't our side of the fence stand up and say something? That I don't know. And we're talking.
They do try, and they are pretty hard hammered as far as keeping it not a free for all. You know what I mean? They don't want people commenting from all over the in the peanut gallery and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it is kind of a weird
peanut gallery. That's our representatives. Aren't they supposed to get up and say something? Aren't they supposed to speak their mind and speak what their constituents want? And
absolutely, but that's what we're saying. And I agree, and that's kind of what got me talking. The thing is, it can't be a back and forth from the gallery. It has to. It's like one person speaking, and then next person gets up there.
Yeah, it's not a true debate,
right? Which I love debate. I'd love to see some of those assholes go, against each other, and watch people just say.
It was the rules committee. So was it just a different committee that would have done the actual debating?
I don't know.
Yeah, the actual debate would be, they would have it in the actual committee. That would not be on the House floor at that point.
No, not the House floor. We started watching it when Pink told me about it, I think, on Wednesday or something on, I don't remember. Tuesday. And they'd already done something before that. So whenever I started paying attention, it was already in like the second of 3 committees before it hit the House. And then when we started watching it, I guess when we started watching it, was in last of, I thought, a couple of committees. So I think in maybe one of the prior committees is where they would have like hashed out all the details. Because that's when
they do it. That, and they have, if they have a hearing, which obviously they had a hearing where it wouldn't have gotten through committee. The hearing is actually where a lot of the arguments would take place, because that's where whoever proposes the bill is in front of the committee, stating their facts and their quote unquote facts and their points, and they're being debated by the committee chair and the officers of the committee. The actual hearing is where they'll actually have that debate, and then the hearing would end, and then the committee would vote to pass it on to the next committee or whatever. So the hearings were usually see that, and they don't usually publicize those unless it's a well-publicized hearing, like when Zuckerberg was in front of the committee and all that. But most hearings aren't publicized, unfortunately. That's where I would love to see it.
Not even on like that C-SPAN or something, where just
maybe they may. Like I said, they would definitely do it if it was like a high-profile hearing, like I said, when Zuckerberg was there.
Well, you figure there's 30 million gun owners ish, more or less, something like that. But it's still way more than 1 million. You would think that one of us, would have the interest, right? Not just like take the burden, but actually like have the interest to go back and look at all those things and do something with it to facilitate somebody else attacking the pieces that are angles that can be focused on and hashed out. Because I mean, what are we doing? We're just watching stuff like it's a stream going by, like, well, that happened, well, that happened, well, that happened in 1994. everybody was like, hey, what the hell just happened? And then they voted everybody out of office, and there was an echo that lasted 10 years or more. It lasted like a decade in politics. I mean, we're in a different environment for sure, but kind of seems like we have tools that should facilitate even more of that than back in the day.
No, I couldn't agree more.
I was just going to say the same thing. I mean, in this day and age of the media and everything else, there's too many people, and we call them sheeple, that follow the mainstream media and they don't research stuff for themselves. You really want to see real statistics? Don't listen to this or that. Dig deeper. Dig deeper. Pay attention, because you're getting the wool pulled over your eyes, peeps.
Yeah, I think that the tough part of that is people know what, especially when they're young, they know what they're brought up to know. It's hard. And that's why talking is so important. And having lots of different people on the chat and, having lots of different things like that is you snag different people and open up their eyes a little bit.
I can say this is at my age that when you're young, you're very influenceable and you tend to, this and that, and you follow this and you think that's the way to go. Young people are very influenceable, and you have to live. I've said this before. On my old high school, there's this little phrase carved in stone that says, knowledge comes, but wisdom lingers. And you think you can be smart, but wisdom comes after living enough to look around you and go, oh, I get it now. You can be fed all kinds of BS, but until you think for yourself, see where I'm coming from?
Dude, Travis is keyboard warring the hell out of that thing, man.
He's clicking away.
Yeah, there's no reason to treat it like that.
What's going on there, man?
I was just going to say that. He's pounding on that keyboard.
I'm really not. I don't know. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it picked that up so much. I'll have to mute next time.
So you're a heavy typer.
No, I don't think I am.
He's just using an old Smith Corona.
Yeah.
Who knows what a typewriter is, right? Come on.
I got one sitting on my desk.
Yeah, well,
you got everything.
That's an Underwood.
What's
no,
not?
this is my loading bench. This is my loading bench.
Isn't on your desk at one point?
This is on the bench. This is a bench, not my desk. I brought this thing down here for one reloading chat. I've just been too damn lazy to lug my computer back up into my nice warm office.
Actually, that's true.
Yeah.
The old Smith Corona.
Son's keyboard.
Somebody, Armament and Access, somebody in the chat said it was carved in stone because they hadn't invented paper yet when you were in high school.
Okay, I'll take that. I'm only 52. That's not that bad, but yeah, to some people, 52 is like, man, you're ancient. And I'm going to tell you this, man. Growing up, I was born in '66. And I grew up, Vietnam was still going on, and all that. But, I was a kid, I didn't know, But, my relatives before me were like, we fought in World War II in Korea. And I'm like, oh, man, that's ancient history. And now that I'm 52, I go, shit, that was only 20 years ago when I was a kid. And I'm like, wasn't that long ago? See where I'm coming? It's just kind of weird.
What the hell are you talking about, man?
Oh, it's all relative.
I'm old.
I'm all the same in a relative way.
He's old and senile, apparently.
All the same in a relative way. Oh, thank you, gun snob. Pink Floyd.
All right.
Gary's is that was that
Gary's being pretty quiet right now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Was that like their commercial or whatever?
Yeah, it must have been back in the
80s. I've never heard that, but when you say Smith Corona, it makes me think of my Corona. So that's how I'm saying
exactly what I'm alluding to. Yeah.
Gary,
I was thinking Warren Zevon.
Oh, there was London. Gary, they're picking us old guys. Come on.
Poor conservative.
I
sent you a comment under that quesadilla video. Is that a shun? Is that knife a shun in your video that you did? It's a nice knife.
I
I thought a shun was like an Amish that
Can
got
we
kicked
talk
out.
about the quesadilla in the room here? Travis still awake? And we got this other Travis. What do you think about this travesty of a mission tortilla in margarine with like American cheese, and then they have the audacity to call that what are they calling it, a quesadilla?
Dude, my latest video, I used straight up real butter.
They said a little bit that.
You use real butter, man.
And
Get off my back.
Mission tortillas is what I've got. About 24 brands to choose from at Walmart. But
Missions are good. They're real nice.
I always get the
tortilla aisle, and there are regular tortillas there. Like you're intentionally buying Mission because you want to.
We have an actual tortilla bakery
Tortilla or tortilla. Come
He's
on.
probably using the low carb tortillas too.
I get those because they're huge, man. They even got bigger
They
ones
are
out.
big, but God,
Did you see G's
trash.
homemade corn chips earlier? Those look good.
Yeah, those look pretty sweet,
Those are
man.
made out of
We
legit
clap for you on
tortilla.
those, man. I'm gonna hurry up. I'll steal your idea and make them. Salt and pepper tortilla chips.
Yeah, I do.
Oh heck yeah! I love homemade tortilla chips. They're awesome. We give them in the restaurants and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you making me hungry.
I just get the ones that are in the plain plastic wrap, the big 10-pound bulk packs.
Want to say
I like
Doritos?
the Tostitos that have like the hint of lime. Those are really good.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That part is I'm out of tortillas and I'm on a mission to go get some more.
You got to go to a grocery store where there's some old lady with a grocery cart full of them selling them in the front, like a Girl Scout, except an old lady, and that'll be like made by the old lady or her old lady friends, and that'll be made out of like masa or whatever, like actual mush, not out of tortilla roll, but pooping them out and then stepping on them. It'll be made out of love and
Wait a minute, wait.
corn. It'll change your world. I'm telling you. If you ain't never ate, you've ate them at real restaurants before, but you can get that actual experience by buying real tortillas and not those like cardboard fake tortillas in the bags.
I don't want to eat anything somebody's pooping out. Okay.
Not even a coin robot.
Exactly.
Robots.
Walmart tortilla robot.
Oh yeah, I got access to the good stuff here, man, where I live.
Yeah,
Oh, you know, Nebraska's a lot.
Yeah,
Nebraska's
Nebraska
like where all their Mexican restaurants are, right?
They've got all the packing plants.
The town that I live in is about 70% Hispanic. We got 12 Hispanic restaurants and trucks. We've got 2 or 3 Hispanic bakeries. We've got a tortilla factory here in town that's like an.
You know what I'm talking about? Then you've eaten real ones. You know.
Oh God, yeah, dude. I got
day.
kids that bring tamales out to school all the time, and we've got whatever.
Oh, there you go.
Taco
Start
Bell.
giving them an A once in a while. They bring in.
Oh yeah, we got tons of
Nacho cheese fries.
restaurants, and yeah.
So those some bitches came up from Mexico straight past G-Webs and right up there to Nebraska.
They did.
Hey,
That screw Kansas.
there's even
Wouldn't
some
have
that
going.
passed up Nebraska and came up to Minnesota where it's a lot colder.
Yeah, they say there's a huge contingency in Colorado, so I don't know why the Colorado.
When people talk about the jobs people don't want to do, it ain't like, well, I guess some of it is picking like melons and shit in California, but 90% of it is the meat stuff up in Travis's neck of the woods. Some of the most dangerous jobs on the planet are right there. They take them by buses from Brazil and South America. I mean, those people are making more money than they can make in a month, and they're still making nothing.
Oh, yeah, we got had people work at the turkey processing facility a couple miles from town, and they said pretty much, you don't get, or if you're white and you apply for a job, chances are you're not going to be on the cutting line.
Of course not.
Well, you
go home and you'll tell people what it's like to work in a factory like that.
No, they'll be like on like the
Dude, it doesn't
operating the
matter
large
what you
thing
think of what they're making in that factory. It's the most dangerous jobs on the planet. Like the people get fucking cut and fingers and death and accidents, and it's a lot easier when they can't speak English and they're either not even on the books or you just send their parts back to wherever they came from, and they're still probably got gratitude, right?
Send them back to mother in a cardboard box.
Were they only if they're in the back seat trying to pick her locks?
There you go. Oh, Pink Floyd again.
Fingers, and they'll keep working either way.
I just got a notification that I don't know if you guys watch Donut Operator. The title of his video he just put out was "Gun Buyback Backfired a Bit." So I'll have to watch that tonight before I go to bed. I'm interested to see what the hell that was.
I was just going to comment about G-Webs. You know, he's talking about jobs people don't want. And where I live up here in Ohio, we got a lot of migrant workers that come up here, and half of them, more than half of them, probably are not legal, but they are the ones out, you know, picking the sugar beets and working in the fields. And the farmers hire them because they do it for dirt cheap, but they send a lot of that money back home and make their families rich in Mexico.
Well, making them rich, but they certainly are able to do what the American dream facilitates. And don't conflate illegals with migrant.
No,
we have the farms that we have in this country that have crops that can't be farmed by robots because of migrants, people that live somewhere and they come over here and do jobs and they leave. That's a valid thing. And those people aren't illegal. They come up here with visas and they do their gig and they go home with a shit ton of money. And that's what the American dream's all about. They add to our economy.
Our economy.
The people that are picking ain't all illegals.
I was not arguing that. Like I said, where I live, there is just south of me a massive area that farm many vegetables and things like that. That I'm not saying they're all illegal. I know some of them are, but the ones that come here and do it with a visa and do it, I don't have a problem with that. And you're exactly right. Those are jobs that most Americans don't want to do. Plus, most Americans don't want to do them for the wages that they're doing them for.
Well, who used to do them?
Yeah, we did. But
we did when we were teenagers. Nobody makes their teenagers go do nothing no more.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly right. Honestly, you know, we grew up working for a living, and you want money, you want a car, you want to put gas in your car. Well, go get a job.
Exactly. You got time after school. You got time on weekends. Budget it. Go make money.
Yeah, not anymore. Snowflakes.
I'll hold a mini square bale of hay.
Hey, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and jet. I just want to give you a heads up. I'm gonna go ahead and duck out. I got to catch some Z's here. Get ready for tomorrow. But man, thanks for sending me the invite, dude. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Later, Travis.
You got to throw out. Go ahead.
You guys have a good night, guys. Take care.
Bye, Travis.
Later, guys.
I don't think it's snowflakes. These are our descendants. These are the loins of the people that came to a country that has the ability for individuals to stand on their own. These are literally the descendants of the best people on the planet, or at least the people that had individual mindset and came here. I think they're probably doing better than a lot of places would. When we look at places like Venezuela and others where they've been crapped on by communism, I think there's a deliberate effort based on the agenda-based shit that comes through media to make kids worship stupid shit like sports and shoes and fucking stupid shit. And that's what, and then we perpetuate it. And it's the parents who allow that to happen. The kids themselves are the same meat that the parents were. You're going to suggest that in one generation they somehow genetically failed? No, it's our environment.
Yeah, it's what the dude. Honestly, I wish you and me could go somewhere and hang out and have a beer and bullshit because we're on the same page. We are on the same page. I'm just that's funny. We're on the same page, and it really is. It's about the values that parenting and where it has went and how the social media and media has played in. And you're exactly right. Oh, these shoes are more important, or this sport is more important. How about paying attention to what's going on in your country? Hey, Sarge.
Okay, so we got that. What G-Webs? What do you call this? It's a palate cleanser, right? Yeah, you call it palate cleanser. We're gonna rip off a Daily Gun Show once again. So Budget says, Budget said up there. He said, "Is there a way to keep eggplant from disintegrating in eggplant lasagna? He made some yesterday. That shit turned to mush. Next time we'll use mushroom slices instead to give it some structure." So you made it from scratch, it sounds like. Eggplant's kind of tough.
How did he make it? Yeah. Who is this? Where are we talking about?
Budget made an eggplant lasagna. So
he's not in here. So
no, he's not. He's out in the chat.
take raw eggplant and make it in there, or do you cook the eggplant, fry it, and then put it in there, like breaded eggplant in there?
Well, either way, a really good. You could do it either way, but one of the best things to do with that is to slice it and leave the skin on it and slice it, salt it a little bit.
So you're not saying like slice it like zucchini, but slice it long ways so that you get big skin pieces?
No, straight across. So
like
it's
steaks?
like, yeah,
okay,
like
a potato or like a carrot. Okay.
Right. So you'd still have the skin on the outside, like it's round. So take that and season a little bit, just a little salt or pepper or whatever you want to. Salt and pepper, probably just simple here. And then a good thing to do is to let it, put it on a bunch of paper towels or some kitchen towels. You could even put towels under it and on top of it and weight it down. And you purge a lot of that
while it's raw.
Yeah, while it's raw. Yep. And it'll squish down. I mean, you'll lose some volume. But you get a lot of that water out of there, and then it'll stay firmer when you cook it, or bread it. Yeah, if you do that and then flour it and flour egg and breadcrumb or something, or however you like to flour it. Some people just flour it and fry it. It won't purge as much water. When you do, it's sort of like doing. It's like if you do onion rings, and you get some onion rings that are really, really super thick. When you fry them, then the moisture comes out of the onion and it turns your breading. Your breading just falls off, or your breading turns soggy on from the inside out. So if you can get that eggplant dried, and it kind of looks a little bit weird because it does shrink up on you a little bit. It kind of it's almost like dehydrating or whatever. It should turn out a lot better that way. It won't have that extra moisture.
So you're trying to cook a sponge full of water.
What if you actually dehydrated it?
No, because you can't dehydrate zucchini and any of the melons like that. You gotta cook them first.
Just turns to nothing.
Yeah, they come out gross. So if you put them back into soup or something, they make like a base, but they only come back as eggplant.
Mm-hmm.
But
something else too. I've done some vegetarian, or I've done some vegan lasagnas I had a couple of times. We had this one group that's come in a couple of different years. They come up this way for, I don't know if it's a business or something, but we've got them for lunch. It's like 35 people and they're vegan. And I've done like vegan lasagnas and done some fried rices and stuff for them too, which I really liked. But when I did the lasagna, it turned out great. And I used the vegan cheeses and stuff like that. But the biggest thing too is, pre-cook your veggies. I did mushrooms. I didn't do anything raw. Actually, I did fresh spinach as a layer, but that doesn't have a ton of moisture to it. But like I did tomatoes and seasoned them and grilled them. The mushrooms that I did, I seasoned and pre-roasted. The eggplant I did that with, like we talked about, let them dry and then grilled them. I did, roasted red peppers. I did all sorts of cool stuff. I just did it as layers and it turned out awesome. But when you're doing a lasagna, that extra moisture is a kiss of death. Also, I don't know if you do your lasagna with a dried noodle or not, especially if you're doing like vegetable lasagnas that have, that moisture in there. Par cook your lasagna. I par cooked my lasagna noodles so that they were still pretty hard. Like they were maybe a third of the way cooked. And that way they absorb some of that moisture out of the veggies. That's a good trick. Even if it's not a vegetable lasagna, that's a good trick. Because it eats up,
I can't eat I can't eat vegan stuff. I mean, lasagna needs meat in it. That's just the way.
Nah, that's just because you've had shitty vegan stuff.
You ever drink beer? It's vegan. So then,
right,
your eggplant is either going to be healthy or not, right? So if you're really trying to make it appetizing, you got to bread the eggplant first, and then build it with like eggplant, like breaded eggplant, and then it is palatable. If you're making it healthy, though, I don't know if he's even using noodles. He's probably using some kind of other base noodles than flour or whatever, but put the noodles in raw. So try cooking it where the water gets absorbed by the noodles, but you can put them in raw. especially
Sure,
when you eat mushrooms and eggplant. That was my 2 cents. Otherwise,
doing it raw is that's a great way too. The only
I always,
reason,
my sure bet is I avoid eating that because I don't like eggplant lasagna.
yeah, the only thing you have to watch with totally raw noodles is if it's something like when I did it, I didn't do it totally raw because I did it all that morning, and I did prepped all the veggies, and then that morning I either grilled it or roasted it or did everything. So everything was already kind of warm or room temperature a little bit better when I put it together. So I didn't want to have to roast it long enough to cook those noodles. I just wanted to kind of put it in, give it like, I forget how long I cooked it for. I don't remember. And it was big pans, like hotel pans, big ones, so that you would see at like a buffet or something. He said no noodles. He was using the eggplant in place of the noodles. He can't have the carbs, so he can't bread them.
They make
definitely
noodles out of something besides flour that aren't carbs.
Well, yeah, there's rice noodles. You could use rice noodles for sure.
Rice noodles are carbs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Carb noodles are rice.
What
I'm
about
proud to be
like
fat and out of shape.
isn't there like cauliflower or something that they smash into a shape and
No, they use
No,
cauliflower
that's for
for
like
mashed potatoes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not very good.
It's
we
not.
did the no carb thing, and I can't remember what it was, but it was it was some nasty vegetable thing that they use for noodles, and it was disgusting.
I'll tell you what is awesome though, and some places have been doing it. It's been out for a little while. Places are doing it. It's not vegetarian. It's fried, so it's not like super healthy, but it's they'll do like cauliflower, roast it ahead of time, like do the florets and roast it, and then batter it or bread it like and fry it, and then serve it with sauces, almost like wings, like vegetarian wings. There's some places
like
that do
fried pickles, only not as
you
good.
You ever had fried green beans? Where they take green beans and fry them like an onion ring, kind of, so they come out looking like.
Isn't that the same? Oh wait, I'm thinking.
A
Of
lot of
onions
people,
in
a lot of
can.
people will use the spaghetti squash for noodles also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an idea.
Good.
Y'all are
Yeah.
making me really hungry. I haven't never eaten nothing this evening.
Sorry, bro.
I was just gonna say, Midnight, I love you. And every time I get on your show or I watch your show, somehow it comes around to food, and you always make me hungry. Okay.
Well, he's a chef, so yeah.
Yeah, well,
He is?
Well, this is the place where we've made the hot dog sandwich famous. So
That's what he does. I wonder.
Yeah,
hot dog
we've
sandwich.
come up with a lot of dumb. I'm proud to say we've come up with a lot of dumb shit on this show.
A hot dog's a sandwich. It's just long. It's a sandwich.
It's Slim Jim's horror candy bar.
Candy.
You know that?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been proven, and it's in Wikipedia. They are candy.
Oh my god, I'm blanking out on her name now. Gee, who? What's the ladies that you interviewed and she said it was a sandwich? Oh,
She was tired. She didn't understand the question.
I could almost hear G's heartbreak just a little bit. He's
Man,
son of a bitch.
I mean, I did see it at a large hot dog selling facility that they had it right on the window that a hot dog was a sandwich. Just saying. Hey, Sarge. I didn't see anything photoshopped like you promised last night. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened to that?
I apologize.
It'll be here in time for next Sunday, correct?
You had one job.
I've done for
had
OTH
one job.
there. Old tiny hands.
For a lot.
Tiny hands.
Your hands.
He was chasing that woman with the dog. Didn't have a chance.
Carney, little tiny hands.
You gotta lock somebody up. Lock up a lady with a dog or what?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, what did I miss?
At least that's what he said. I don't know.
She was detained.
Kinky says I make him hungry and horny. Well, thank you very much. That's two things that I try and do every day. I'm not gonna knock that off my to-do list now.
You can combine those two things too.
Yeah.
Or so I hear.
So budget. Hopefully, we helped you out with your eggplant debacle. I will say it is the first time you do eggplant like that. it's weird because you draw if the more moisture you draw out of there, the better they're going to be. So don't rush it. And the salt will actually help draw the moisture out. That's why you season it.
Just in case you all are wondering, I don't think I've ever eaten eggplant in my life.
Never?
Just throwing that out there.
Nope.
Oh man, I'll tell you, like if you dry it out a little bit, get some of that moisture out there, and bread it, like panko encrust it, flour, egg, and breadcrumbs, fry it hard. Man, that makes awesome. Like eggplant parmesan or something.
Yeah, my wife loves eggplant parmesan.
Eggplant parm is awesome if it's done right. It's just like anything else.
Totally raw.
Like whenever when Armand says vegan food, blah blah, like eggplant parm can be freaking horrible, and just like wet breading, it can be horrible. But if you get somebody that takes their time with it, and oh man, it's awesome.
I'm a carnivore. I'm sorry. I'm only going to eat vegetables and plants.
So what's the difference between regular breading and tempura?
Tempura is a batter technically.
It's a batter, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very, very light and thin, and generally you use a carbonated water or something. A lot of times you use something carbonated in it, and it kind of helps give it some bubbles.
And the next thing,
Gives it more texture.
The liquid with the little cubes that you drop in to dip that in. What is that, rice? Like a rice wheat or something that you drop in there?
Like bouillon cubes?
A lot of times they'll use, a lot of times they use tofu. So.
Okay, because as soon as you drop it in, it just like, when it spins, I don't know. It's been, 20 years since I've had it.
Hmm?
It's kind of like miso, where you drop it in and it's almost like fine rice that floats around, but it's the dip. It's one of those Bangkok staples.
My wife doesn't like. Well, that might be. It's not Japanese, I don't think, though.
No, last time I checked, I don't think Thailand's part of Japan, regardless of what they were trying to do.
All right.
There's a lot of times you see the fried noodles, the puffed up noodles too. I don't know if that's what you're talking about.
No.
I was gonna.
It was shrimp tempura, and there was like a brown clear. It was like a brown broth almost.
Fish sauce.
Sounds like miso.
Well,
it
too.
kind of, but it wasn't miso because that was.
Was it miso light?
Yeah,
They always serve tempura.
All right, I didn't say it. You did it.
They always serve tempura with some sort of like little bowl of soy sauce looking stuff.
Yeah, and you drop the little cube in there, and it was always cool.
I've never the cube thing. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is.
I survived eating that for a month in Thailand.
Midnight. I was going to ask you, like when it comes to Chinese sweet and sour chicken, what is that batter? Is that a beer batter, or what is that batter?
It depends. I mean, when you're getting it from
pancake batter, maybe.
Yeah. When you're getting it from like an American. If you're getting it from an American Chinese place, it's pretty much like a beer batter. It's a lot thicker. One of the things that you see is there's a different kind of technique when you see Asian food too.
They fry it in a wok. Do they fry it up in a wok? I mean, I don't know.
Nowadays, probably not. I mean, most places would have a commercial fryer. You know what I mean? Just because it's easier and
deep fryer.
Whatever. Yeah, but a lot of times you see chicken and beef and stuff, they'll be done. And what happens, and I've done this before and it's really cool, is you take the raw chicken and beef and you actually mix egg whites and like cornstarch and a little flour, and you that makes it like sticky. And then whatever you dip it in sticks really good, but it gives it a nice texture underneath too because it's a little bit lighter. It's already got like that egg white underneath, and when you cook it, then it gives it a little bit of air because the whites pop up.
Right. I was going to say that I've found that depending on what I use to batter or whatever, I use egg white to make it stick, and it turns out better depending on the breading. Like I said, I'm curious in what they use to. Yeah, I don't know.
a really good thing, a really cool technique too. That's one of my favorite things to do. I don't do it a whole lot, but is to do a tempura, and then roll that in panko breadcrumbs. Because when you fry it, then the tempura puffs up a little bit, but it's not like a batter on the outside. Then you've got the real crunchy breadcrumb on the outside. That's a really good way to go.
Now I'm hungry.
You see that with shrimp a lot.
And now I'm hungry again. See what you did? See what I did?
All right,
Yeah.
fellas. Well, you guys have a good night. I got to jump out.
See you, buddy.
Later,
I'm at
Patriot.
about, I'm at about 1%. So,
Alrighty,
and my
take care,
phone
all
is too.
1%.
Well, if you didn't stay up all yesterday trying to blow out your eardrums with your fancy sound system,
Hey, somebody's got to mess with Sarge. I mean, everybody else, nobody calls him Barney.
Barney?
Yeah, I said,
Barney.
His name's Barney. Barney Fife.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the purple dinosaur.
No.
He was talking about his fancy TV. I had said, man, if I lived close to Patriot, I'd sneak into his house, steal his TV, and just replace it with a radio. Get a free TV out of it.
He wouldn't know the difference, right?
He knew the difference on
daughter
the first one. The first one, the screen was out on, and he still took it back. I don't know why.
You'd definitely be that wound up son of a.
There you go.
Week.
You should have caught me before the show, the pre-chat. That was pretty wound up.
Yeah, you were getting there.
So, yeah. All right, you guys have a good night.
See you, buddy.
Good night.
All right.
The juice says mumbo sauce. I don't know what that is.
Night, Patriot.
Isn't that a Dick Tracy character?
Sounds like it could be a real thing. I don't know.
Mumbo
That is sort of a
Mumbo.
not ketchup, and it's not barbecue sauce. It's kind of like a red hot. What's that? Somebody's red hot.
Sriracha kind of.
Frank's
No,
Red.
it's not that. It's more like Louisiana hot sauce, but different.
Is it Asian?
Colonel Cajun sauce?
No, I don't think so. It's from Washington D.C. Right, Narco gave it some and sent some out.
The greatest ketchup in the world, strawberry ketchup. Just letting you all know.
The hell's wrong with you?
No, the greatest ketchup in the world is barbecue sauce.
Well,
The greatest ketchup in the world is from Whataburger.
no.
Spicy ketchup.
I don't know.
I don't like ketchup, but I love strawberry ketchup from Fat Guys Burgers.
Strawberry ketchup.
Yeah, but I tried to make it at home, and I just could never get it to turn out. It's almost like they put like strawberry preserves and ketchup, mix it together, but it just never did turn out for me.
I've never tried that.
No.
It's better than you would think.
I will say this, that I'm a grill kind of guy, and I love grilling over charcoal and all that, but I've experimented with using applesauce and grape jelly and whatnot to prepare the meat beforehand, and of course you don't cook it with all, but I've come up with some really, really good tasty things using applesauce as a not a marinade. I guess it could be called a marinade, but I've found, and Midnight should know this.
Why?
Well, it depends on what you're doing, but citric acid in the fruit breaks down and makes it really super tender. So it depends on the meat. If you got a like a chuck steak, yeah, you can make that thing super tender and super tasty.
I can see where something like that with a pork one or something would be good.
Pineapple has some enzyme. Pineapple has an enzyme.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called.
Right.
Pineapple's really rough.
Why don't you have
If
some
you,
pork ceviche?
What's that?
Why don't you make some pork ceviche?
Do it, man. But I've done like shrimp with pineapple. I've marinated shrimp and pineapple, and it just totally disintegrated. Like first time I ever did it, I didn't know.
Pineapple's too much for it. Probably it needs to be like lemon or
right.
Or
well,
it's
not this.
time.
It's not the. Yeah, you could toss it in and then cook it or whatever, but
it's not
the
pineapples. Or if you fiddle with pineapples too long, your fingerprints disappear.
Yeah, I remember that enzyme in pineapple is a lot more potent at breaking down meat proteins than like regular.
Oh yeah, it's rough. Yeah, I marinated like I don't know, man, 5 pounds of shrimp one night, one day, and then went to use it like a day later, day and a half later, after sitting in a marinade, and it was like mush almost. You just squeeze it. It was gross. I was like, "What the fuck happened here?"
Well, it's simple. You put it through a coffee filter. You take the solids and you make a shrimp burger out of it.
Yeah, you couldn't have even done that. You could have pureed it and maybe made like, you could have maybe put breadcrumb in it and made like shrimp meatballs or something. Maybe, I don't know, but it was weird, man.
This one time, I took the bottom of a pineapple and hollowed it all out and set my junk in there. Yeah, and it was.
Oh, don't. Come on, dude.
Was that before or after you put it in the microwave?
What are you talking about?
Oh, putting your junk in the microwave after you let it disintegrate in the pineapple. Okay, this is
the fuck are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What he was saying. You're all off
I was
the
talking
rails.
about putting the pineapple in to warm it up.
Both in the
don't want
doors.
the thermal shock.
Both in the doors. The hard part.
Oh wow.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
I mean, G
something in my pants.
G can teabag a pineapple all he wants. I don't really care. But when I might have to.
I like to keep my business soft.
Your business.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Wow. You start having the wow comment of the week.
Yeah.
That wins.
I like to keep my business. I like to keep my business soft. When G goes to get his bikini wax, they're amazed. They're like, "Wow,
so soft,
so supple."
Where is this chat gone?
Off the rails on a crazy train.
So
When I go to fit
flexible.
in for my robes and stuff, they're always like, "Wow, you're so young down there."
I expect this kind of chat out of obnoxious, but out of G-Webs, come on.
You're so young down there.
So like, G, do you walk around the house like a smoker's jacket, just keeping everything soft down there?
You guys don't walk around in fitted robes?
Well, I know if G was
No.
walking around like that at Obnoxious's house, he wouldn't be soft down there.
Well, maybe they were walking around in a snuggie.
Yep, there you go.
There you go.
The snuggie. The snuggie. You know what a snuggie
Pineapple,
is? It's a backwards robe. I mean, come on.
pineapple infused snuggie with a little pouch in the front for your garbage to stick it to marinate it in your pineapple.
There needs to be a patch that says "keeping it soft."
The pineapple patch.
Where's Angelino when you need her?
She's actually hosting her own open lobby over on gunchannels.com right now.
Oh snap! They're missing out.
I expect to see a pineapple patch in the next month. G, just saying.
Yeah. This show does keep G busy. It keeps him working on stuff when he's got nothing to do. He's like, I'm gonna make a hot dog sandwich sticker. Oh, now I got to make a pineapple nutsack patch.
Great. Now you just put that image in my head. Thank you. You see, the patch will be like the pineapple on top, and then just a couple of hairy protuberances on the bottom of the pineapple.
Some red cherries.
You see, it sells itself.
Keeping it soft.
Keeping it soft. He'll be getting a massage one of these days. They'll be like, "Wow, it's so soft." He's like, "Pineapple."
Pineapple half an hour a day.
Do you have to warm it up first, or does the cold help?
Wow.
Well, you see, if you get it too hot, it'll just eat away too quickly. You have to be at like the perfect temperature.
Yeah, you don't want to be looking like Dark Man. Yeah, like Ken. Poor conservative says supple. Yeah.
Ooh. Sounds even dirtier with that word.
Yeah, supple. That's why they use they should put pineapple juice in the hand lotion. In the lotion.
Puts lotion in the bucket.
Puts the lotion in the basket. Or else it gets the pineapple again. Armament and Axis says meat or beef, pork, chicken, or squirrel. What the hell are you talking
If Buffalo Bill was ahead of his time, he wouldn't be giving her lotion. He would be giving her pineapple.
Mm-hmm. It puts the pineapple in the skin.
Somebody commented meat on a stick. I said beef, pork, pineapple. Yeah, it's
I said
fine.
beef on a stick.
On a
Right
stick.
there.
No, somebody
Sure.
said
Chinese
meat on a
food.
stick. Meat on a stick is whatever. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, it's squirrel, beef,
The
pork.
hell's wrong with you, man?
It's meat on a stick. Come on.
Squirrel on a stick.
Well,
You know what?
that's what
When
that's
they're-
what Outhouse was having for his bedtime snack.
I think
Not
that's
where you
what
wanna
Midnight
start.
cooks for special up there.
Technically,
Squirrel.
when the squirrel's alive, he could be on a stick too, running around the trees and stuff.
Well, you know, that's a tree rat getting a free break from society, but whatever. You know, they taste good if you're hungry.
It tastes good even if you don't. I think squirrel's good. Nothing wrong with squirrel.
Yeah, deep fried, pan fried. We could go on the shrimp kebab.
I used
Bubba
to make
gump
squirrel
over
and
here.
rice when I was a kid.
Okay. Yep.
Squirrel kebab, squirrel sandwich.
Squirrel and pineapple.
Just keeping it soft.
Yeah. Squirrel candy.
Mhm.
Keeping that squirrel tender.
Squirrel
It's just-
so tender, Grandpa doesn't even need his teeth.
Sounded like
You just
said
take that
squirrel
pineapple.
What are you doing there, Grandpa? I'm just trying to keep my little squirrel soft.
Oh,
Grandma, soft squirrel.
Oh, shit.
That
right.
is in hell. Literally in hell.
No.
Just wait. One of these, you know what? I guarantee within the next week, Gun Snob's going to have a video coming out how he made a banana hammock out of a pineapple and trying to get his wife in the sack.
No. He made a banana hammock out of squirrel fur with a little bit of
Please
pineapple.
don't turn your camera on for this, whatever you do.
right.
Yeah, don't
Well,
click on
you know,
his
if he
camera.
leaves it on there too long, it's not going to be a banana hammock. It's going to be more like a toothpick hammock.
There you go.
It'll be soft.
So soft and supple. You have to worry about it tying itself in knots.
G is so
Right.
G's such a troublemaker. He just totally
See, that's the
disrupted his
problem.
awesome
Is,
chat.
and then he gets quiet. He'll get everybody going, then he'll just sit back and let everybody go.
He just likes to see
back
the dumpster fire burn.
You know, he doesn't do this to other people's chats. Other people's chats, he's very respectful and he talks about issues and he comes on here and he's like, "Yo, I put my nuts in a pineapple. What do you think about that?"
It's all misunderstanding.
He heard you say you wanted a lighter-hearted chat this week. You got it.
Yeah. Well,
I did.
It's a lot softer.
Well, he needs, G needs something to entertain him while he's making little knives and little Smeggy dolls.
Yeah. Now, next thing you got to do is you got to make a little knives figure, little action figure with a little pineapple banana hammock to wear. Keep his garbage supple.
What we do need to talk about is who has a 3D printer that's working.
Not I.
Doesn't
I don't even have a regular printer that's working.
Doesn't
Big
Bonner
Gunner.
have one?
Big Gunner has one.
He's been busy. Who else? Big Gunner?
Big Gunner, yeah.
Big Gunner, yeah. He was just posting a picture on Instagram of using it too.
Doesn't Hosh have one?
Yeah, but he's super busy too. These guys, I know people that have them, and it's like when they need them, they use them. But it's everybody I know. It's like it's kind of a hassle. When I need something, I make something. But like Big Gunner's a good example. He runs it all the time. He makes stuff on it all the time. Nobody in here has one though.
No,
I don't. Every time I look at getting one, I see new gun.
Yeah,
you just gotta.
By the time you're done researching whichever ones are available, like better ones are out.
Yeah,
so hard to get into the game of them.
Or it's like, it's like, it's a couple $100. Well, that's like 90% of that gun I want. Or I have to put a new brake on my car. Yeah.
I had to do that a couple weeks ago. It wasn't fun. Had to replace
And
a
you
brake
don't have to put brakes on your car, but
Brakes are for
helps.
bitches. Brakes are yeah.
Yeah, what do you need to stop, right? Why do you need to stop, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, hell, ever
yeah,
since
something
the
to stop it.
ever since the ditches have been filling up with snow, you got free runoff strips everywhere you want.
You don't
I
need
thought you
brakes
said
or
something
review
different
mirrors.
than that when you first started talking. I was like, what?
You don't need brakes or review mirrors because you ain't slowing down. You ain't looking back.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
And that
That should be a-
officer
that
is
should be a
why I did not
t-shirt.
stop until you blew my tires out.
Road pirates.
Well, if
You
you need
gotta-
to stop, you just go find one of the street spikes. Then you just say, "Hey, that'll stop me."
You got to get Sarge on them on the job there. He can confiscate one from somebody or something. Send it to
Like
you.
aircraft carriers, whenever you need to stop, they put one of them big poles up you can catch onto.
It's a big
I
rubber
think you
band.
should, I think you should just get a big old parachute and just try it.
Yeah. Put your feet through the floorboards.
Oh, you could, yeah, you could
Flintstone,
Flintstone it, yeah.
Yeah.
I had a four-wheeler without brakes for a long period of time, and I hit a tree once.
Once?
Once. Hit a hay bale once, too.
Well, that explains quite a bit.
Not everything, but quite a bit.
There goes Ghost.
I actually bailed off before it hit the tree, but
Oh.
So wait, you hit the bale, but you bailed before you hit the tree?
yeah, well, the hay bale, it was just a square bale, so it wasn't that bad. It threw me off, but it wasn't that bad.
When a vehicle just smashed a square bale, it's only held together with twine.
Not a four-wheeler.
Oh, I was thinking like a truck.
Nah, it was just a little four-wheeler.
They're still pretty dense, though, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're pretty dense.
They've been sitting and fermenting.
For many years, like at the media day, they would have, like Yamaha would always have little four-wheelers and ATVs and stuff out there. And I never liked the kind where you sit in them because they whip your neck around.
Talking the ones that are like the side-by-side, not the ones that you like straddle like a motorbike.
Yeah, I like when they're like a motorcycle with four wheels because you can just stand on the pegs or whatever and it doesn't matter what's underneath you. Because out there, you see that it's all like rolling hills and stuff. In those like car ones, it's like every like left and what is that, yaw or whatever, like yanks your head all around.
You get a sore neck. You gotta put some pineapple in your neck, make your neck feel better.
I'm just saying, I never
Needs one of those neck pillows to use as a brace. Pineapple used.
Yeah,
There you
right.
go.
Riding in a side by side is like riding in a car. I was just on my son's first ever podcast tonight. He's Hill Climb, Ohio, JB. You want to talk about quad riding and crazy kid, and he worries the crap out of me. And yeah, but you know, I taught him how to ride when he was a kid, and he took it to the next 4 levels. But yeah, I rode in a Razor with a buddy the last time I went riding with my kid, and yeah, it's I was in the passenger side holding on. Thank God they give you like these handlebars.
Yeah, all over the place, which is nice.
Yeah, because it's like, oh my God, yeah, that's nuts.
I mean, on a grass or something, it'd be fine, but they like weren't selling. It wasn't a good sell to like make people go up over rocks and stuff. It was like,
oh, we
compared to a four-wheeler, it's like you didn't even notice it. It was fun.
Well, this one was highly modified, and we climbed hills and we did crazy things. And thank God I had my helmet on and nothing happened. But yeah, this was not a stock Razor, you know what I mean? But on a 4-wheeler, oh yeah, you're way more in control than you are sitting behind the wheel of any side by side. You know what I mean?
I kind of like the idea of like that little tiny pickup bed they got, but I'd rather have like a little flat area on the back of my four-wheeler. Of course, four-wheeler needs a trailer. Thousands and thousands of dollars.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna jump out. I think.
Later, Giz.
Laser Giz.
See you, Giz.
Later. See ya.
You
Giz.
do any plugs before you go?
Only it's pineapple.
Fridays at 9, 8 Central. Give him the bird and all that good stuff. And thanks for the invite.
Giz's like, I got a pineapple in here in the kitchen. I got to go check this out. See y'all later.
See you
Later,
guys later.
losers.
Let's see if we can. I think I heard the microwave go ding. He's like, oh, pineapple's done.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's going to be the new YouTube challenge, how long you can soak.
Oh my
Actually,
God.
didn't YouTube crack down on, or say they were cracking down on that kind of shit?
Yeah, they're supposed to. That's one of the
We'll
examples they
do it
gave.
on Instagram.
It's just an exfoliant skin treatment.
It's
Yeah, there
all
you go.
natural, organic, fair trade skin exfoliant.
Speak man, dude. What'd you just say?
Wait, so
He said it was all full of shit.
of
Just
all
buy
the
the
shit
stuff
that
that
I've
we
said
told you to.
tonight, me using a bunch of $2 words is what kills the chat.
Exactly.
Genitals
Exactly.
and not violating fruit.
Yeah.
Not microwaving your genitals after they've been dissolved by said fruit. It's exfoliating. That's what
Okay,
kills the chat.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I ain't microwaving my genitals. What?
He said
No.
exfoliating.
Nobody
thought
said
you
anything
said
about microwaving.
microwaving,
What
but-
are you talking about?
I'm not
What
exfoliating
did I
my
just walk in?
genitals either, but whatever.
Dude, you haven't ever microwaved your balls? Like everyone here has.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's because
Alrighty
when
then.
he wasn't.
Wow.
I
You're
found
not a
30
real
seconds.
you're not
I
a
found
real man
30
until you
seconds.
nuke your balls, man.
I found 30 seconds and about 1100 watt microwave works the best.
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't have to go get sniffed if you microwave your balls. You pretty much are done having kids that way, you know?
Or the
Yeah,
ones that do
sort
come
of
out are
works.
seriously fucked up.
My problem was it kind of hurts to close the door.
Oh, see, I have an old school microwave. You don't have to close the door. You just let it go, man.
Oh.
Do you have a chopstick or something in that little thing?
Ouch.
Well,
What are you
sometimes
jamming
my
a
wife
chopstick in? What do you call it? Little?
sometimes my wife calls it a chopstick, but you know, it's what it is.
That thing was a torque.
Well, is that your form of birth control?
And we used to make fun of Ellis for goats. Now we're to buy
No, we still make fun of Ellis for goats.
Yeah.
But it's worse when it's goats because you got to chase them. The microwave's there. You don't have to chase it.
No. It's worse with the pineapple. You see, the goats can move around. They can at least attempt to get away from Ellis. Pineapple, it doesn't have any free will. It doesn't have any movement. You are violating a vegetable fruit.
It's better than violating a pie.
It's inanimate. It has no choice. It's going to get violated, right?
So it is a warm pineapple?
Well, that's better than a cold pineapple, right?
I don't know.
Fresh
You
out.
tell me.
Fresh out the sun.
It depends on the
I
time
don't
of the
know.
year.
Depends
on the time of the year.
Oh, it's a seasonal thing. Oh.
During the summertime, he likes a nice chilled pineapple, you know.
Hey, 2 Live Move. There's space open up if you want to jump in again.
Yeah, he's got a link.
You know, even on a cold summer night, my pastor's wife likes a warm dick and
Okay,
cider.
stop right there, because wherever this is going, I don't want to hear it.
Get out of here. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Gonna boot or mute
Full of
you.
pineapple with vodka.
The pants in the gun channel chat says this is the weirdest van chat ever.
Oh, it's the extra special van with the unicorn painted on the side.
Just think. What if G would have gotten caught at the range in Tulsa with his junk in the pineapple and the cops?
I'm going back and looking at the video where he does a tour of the back of the van and see if there's a bunch of pineapples stacked in there somewhere.
What are you doing in that van, boy?
Making fruit salad.
Moisturizing. You know what's kind of
cider.
You want to know what's scary to think about is that somebody might.
None of this stuff we didn't talk about is scary enough for you.
No, listen. Somebody could come across this video and start watching it and be like, man, these guys are all right, man. They care about my rights. They're talking about freedom. They're talking about the American way, and they're talking about putting their balls in pineapples. What the hell just happened?
Well, we talked about cooking first, and then it went this way, and
Hopefully they get bored with the cooking and the eggplant parmesan lasagna before we get to this part.
Hopefully they had a short attention span and they lost interest after the eggplant.
all I can say is if they watch your channel enough, they know this is how it goes, and this is where. Yeah, come on.
Feinstein's going to put a link to this somewhere and be like, "These are the kind of idiots that we're fighting against. Why have we not taken everybody's guns yet? Why does anybody have guns if this is the fucking guys that we're dealing with?" Everybody should be down to a spork and nothing else by now. If this is the kind of assholes that we're coming up on.
Nope, no sporks, tubes.
Ban pineapples.
We're all getting red flagged eventually, so.
Yeah, I guess.
Vanessa says 2A rights are the least of our problems, our iffy problems.
Oh, wow. Who's bringing a pineapple to Tulsa?
Oh God!
You just wait.
Go find a pineapple factory somewhere.
Only if Night Strike comes there, we can just hand them a pineapple.
You know, does anyone have those
Things
things you put on the trees during like Halloween? The eyes and the nose and shit.
It's Mr. Pineapple Head.
Put it on a pineapple.
He's rough on the outside, but on the inside, he's so soft and supple.
He's hiding a pineapple inside his van.
What the hell is going on?
Oh,
excuse me, sir. Why do you have a
pineapple?
Excuse me, sir. Why do you have a pineapple in your microwave? Oh, it's getting ready to get soft.
I wanted it soft. Oh, this dumpster fire is really going good.
Wasn't ripe yet.
Somebody threw a couple tires on it, I think.
Dumpster fire. Dumpster fire. Perfect analogy.
Okay.
Is that the dumpster fire floating down the river? Yeah.
Well, shit floats. Most of it.
Pineapples
So how
don't.
about
They're on
that
the bottom
bandit?
of the sea.
YP says, "I feel like island. He spelled island very weird, but he says he feels like Island Z should be here for pineapple consulting."
Nah, he'll just start going off about how pineapples aren't worth the same amount of cryptocurrency they were 5 minutes ago.
Oh.
God damn.
Or the fact that if you hide your gold inside a pineapple, it erases your fingerprints on it.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking.
We're going to talk about pineapple whacking it.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at Kinky Sphincter's last comment. I'm like, no,
Don't.
I'm not even gonna. I'm just mentioning y'all see it. That's okay.
Well, you should have woke him up, Armament and Axes. Why'd you let him fall asleep?
Well, I'm sitting at home and on this chat. Why haven't we woke him up? I don't know.
Oh, he said that's the way really? That's the way Island Z spells his name?
Oh, yeah. Damn.
I didn't realize that.
Confused.
I could have swore I could have swore there was. Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't.
He's the reasonable Hawaiian. I could have swore I saw it as like ISLAND.
Hold on, guys.
No.
What's that?
Did you
I'm
go get a
putting the
pineapple,
old
Ghost?
pineapple in the old microwave here. It's almost done.
Beep, beep, beep. Boom.
Yeah.
Sounded like a backup alarm. What?
Your Ghost, your daughter doesn't live with you anymore, right? She's
Hey,
she's
don't
away
you
at
ever
school.
bring my daughter when we're talking about pineapple. You understand me?
No.
No,
I'm saying she's not. She doesn't live with you, right? So
Ghost.
calm down. No, I said she's not in the
Oh.
house. So what you should do is you get yourself a pineapple, and you
What the
you
fuck is
pretend to
wrong
like
with
fall
you, dude?
asleep.
What is
Pretend to
wrong
fall
with
asleep on the
you?
couch with a pineapple when you know it.
You've got so many fucking problems. It's not even funny to start.
Says
Ghost,
the man who eats crayons.
Ghost, I'll agree with you because that was like, yeah, that was what the hell, Midnight. Come on.
So if you stuff a pineapple with pork, you're porking a pineapple. My bacon wrapped pineapple stuffing with pork tenderloin will always have a new meaning now.
That's a whole new meaning for Porky Pig right there.
Yeah.
Porky pig and pineapples.
Thank you, Vanessa. That was good. She's good at coming up with those off the wall comments, by the way.
Yeah. Pineapple poked pork.
They call him a bandit.
Gunsnob really wants to talk about Smokey and the Bandit.
I just went off the damn pineapples, damn it. You were making me hungry. Now you're making me something else. I mean, come on.
Boy, when I get home, I'll slap your mama in the face.
Well, punch your mama with a pineapple.
Whatever it was,
Boy,
yeah.
boy, when Armament gets home, he's gonna put your pineapple in his mouth.
I'm already home.
Okay.
I'm going home. What the hell are you talking about?
That sounds,
Can we talk about Gunstreamer for a minute?
Sure, go ahead, buddy.
Please
What's up?
So I was noticing that, at least on mine, it says that when I posted this video 5 hours ago, it was the most recent video, and then Gary's was an hour ago. It's like, seriously, there's just nobody posted in the last 5 hours over there? So that was odd. Usually there's quite a bit of traffic over there.
I know the only thing when I went to check your video was all of my videos, because I went into my manager to see how they were doing, said that they were all, what were they, 16 hours or 16 days old?
Oh, yeah. That happened if I go look at my videos. Manage my videos. 16 days ago, 16 days ago, 16 days ago. And that's when I was like, oh, I'm going to go look and see what's going on. I was like, whoa, video hasn't gone up for 5 hours. This one says 6, 8, 9. Oh, there must be a glitch. 10 hours? Well, I guess it could be if it hasn't.
whoa.
It's been a slow day, I guess.
Yeah, but does anybody else have theirs on auto import?
Yeah, I do.
Not all my
no.
I have Daily Gun Show on.
I do.
Yeah.
Auto import.
Because it seems like mine are taking forever. I noticed Gary's just now went up 1 hour ago, and that ended a long time ago. It
Yeah,
seems like
when I do Daily
a lot
Gun Show,
longer than they used to. Maybe they're just overwhelmed right at the moment.
it sometimes is up for a day on a Daily Gun Show. Or like the next day, like after, sometime the next
Yeah.
day. Has anybody seen this Uncle Jim guy?
Oh. No, I don't know.
I saw this. I was just sitting here looking stuff on Gunstreamer, right? And I stumbled across this, a 6 hour and 15-minute chat, right? And they call it the Hat Chat Tonight. And I'm like, a 6 hour chat? What's all this about? And I see this. It's all a reloading room and everything. And
that's
then,
all it is?
See some art.
Holy shit.
What the hell is that?
Oh, whatever. You're talking about pineapples here. They're all wearing hats for a while. Like, it's the Hat Chat, right?
I do know that Gizzard Gary went for over 4 hours. Was it today or yesterday? He was, a 4 hour chat.
This morning.
5.5. Wow.
But I'm saying this is a chat over on Gunstreamer that's 6 hours long, and I don't recognize any of these people. And this is a 6 hour long chat. You'll notice it's like 100% guns. Like 100% guns. Everybody's in here is chatting about guns. They're having some fun and bullshitting. They've got their inside jokes and stuff. I mean, it's like watching a gun channels chat. It's just that I don't recognize anybody, and it's all guns for 6 hours.
Okay,
So
I don't have a problem with that. I haven't heard of them. I can see a lot of reloading equipment.
It looks like they're all reloading, or most of them are reloading during it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, they look like they would kind of fit in here wearing a unicorn hat and all.
Yep.
Vanessa says,
that's why I'm curious. I want to ask around, see if anybody, because this is awesome. This is what Gunstreamer is all about, right? Like, I didn't even know there's all these people out here for 6 hours holding a chat about guns. It's freaking awesome. I was thinking it was maybe those guys. Chat for that reloading.
Vanessa checks him out. So
Yeah,
Vanessa said she wasn't.
Watch the YouTube side of it.
I honestly, I think it's awesome. Gunstreamer is just up and coming. They're trying to get the live streaming going. I know they got Contributus and all that, and I think they're you were talking about the videos uploading and how long it takes. I think they're going to glitch a little, but they're an up and coming platform, so at least it's open. Nobody's going to shut us down and go, oh, you can't say that. I don't think that's going to happen, of course, unless you threaten people and do stupid stuff. But on YouTube, you go, look at my gun. I could tell you how to take it apart. Well, we're going to flag you, and we're going to, So I'm more power to Gunstreamer. Seriously.
All right. And on that note, I'll catch you guys later.
See you, Reaper.
Go.
See you, Graham.
See you, guy.
Go. G-Webs has
Say hi to them. Say hi to them kids.
Oh yeah, they're they're all knocked out today. All 17
I
of them,
think
as you
that
always tell me.
I think that you should put this video on in your class tomorrow and have a good time with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
Do it. Do it.
17 kids, really?
You don't have a
$5
hair on
says you
your
won't do it.
pineapple if you don't have a hair on your pineapple if you don't do it.
$5 because you won't do it.
And scale on your pineapple if you don't do it.
You know, I don't know. The other day we were going over, rocks, and I had a pile of rocks on the table, and the kids are wondering why I'm laughing as I'm showing them all these different types of rocks, and I'm thinking of, again, you guys, maybe if we had rocks in the classroom, we can throw them at the bad guy.
Well, see, you were safe that day.
I was definitely safe. They were some large rocks.
I'm waiting for the day that Grim really freaks, like snaps out on the kids, and he dumps them rocks out on the counter and says, "You know what? You're dumber than these."
Hey, those rocks would have been softer if you'd have soaked them in a pineapple first, though.
Oh, you know what happened? The cafeteria ran out.
Were they stripped rocks, or did they have the springs and stuff in them still?
You got to marinate those strip blowers.
Mm-hmm.
They're marinate.
Did you say, well, kids, this rock is rounder and it will fly better when you throw it at the bad guys? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This one here has got a nice sharp pointy end, so it'll cut better.
I did say this one is as dense as you guys. A couple of the kids got it. A couple of the kids died laughing. The other ones were like, "We don't get it."
Yeah, they were like, "What?"
Which makes it all the more funny.
Honestly, that's the ones that, you say that joke and the kids that laugh, you're like, yeah, you get it. And the ones that go, what? Yep, you're the kids I'm talking about.
They know. All right, you guys have a good one.
Peace, Grim.
Yep.
Night, Grim.
Mm-hmm. Those guys are some of them from the Reloading Network. Cool.
What the hell is this thing you sent me, Sarge?
What?
The PPAP. Pin pineapple apple pin. He put it in a chat. If you go to the chat, the Hangouts chat on your phone. It's a YouTube video. And it's bad.
Not as bad as what he sent me on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one too. They're equally bad.
I don't know how the hell to find it on my phone.
I don't know, it just pops up on mine every time somebody does it. Let me see if I can get it here. I'll copy it and send it to you. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, you just have to tap the chat you're currently in.
It's just a funny, goofy song. Speaking of pineapples.
I was going to say, put it in our...
I did. I put it in the internal.
All right. Got it.
I would be wary of watching it because you'll be singing it all day tomorrow.
Pants.
Nothing bad.
Pants.
Singing it all day tomorrow.
The pants down there says, "Damn, I was wondering what the fuck that smell was. A stink bug committed suicide on top of his wood stove." Yeah, it's nice how these chats really bring us into each other's lives, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And what else are we going to do when we have the great storm of the 2-inch blizzard, for the century?
Sarge, Sarge, I went and I clicked on it and I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, okay. I watched like a minute of that, whatever it was, and I went, yeah, I'm done.
Oh yeah, Sarge, screw you for that picture you sent me earlier today, by the way.
Now, are we talking a pleasant way or the not pleasant way?
A not pleasant way.
He's speaking of the pineapple way.
No. He sent me a picture of his freaking internet feed.
And I wanted to let him know that I was having troubles too.
Yeah, he's having troubles. 107 down, 11 up. And I'm over here with like 0.08 up and 0.01 down.
No.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah. What?
I got kicked out of my own chat last night and couldn't even get back in before the 5-minute window was up.
Several times.
Well, next time, just post your login information in the comments so somebody else can log in for you.
Yeah, on the YouTube chat. Yeah, I should have.
Completely safe.
What's really bad is I could go on the YouTube on my phone, so I was in there commenting the whole time. I just couldn't get back in on my freaking computer.
How'd you get kicked out? Server, YouTube, who kicked you? What? How'd you get kicked out?
My internet screwed up. They're supposed to be here to fix it tomorrow.
Honestly, I told you guys that my son, Hill Climb, Ohio, JB, he did his first podcast tonight. He got kicked out. His modem decided to reset, and I sent him a text going, dude, hurry up, or it's not going to last long, because if you don't get back in, it's going to dump us after, I don't know, what is it, 8 or 10 minutes?
5.
Yeah, is it? And he did get back in, and we finished it. But yeah, it's internet. I have issues with mine too, so yeah, hit it with a hammer.
Here I am sitting at 8 down and 8 up. Then again, I got a lovely fiber line going right to my house.
You got fiber optic and only have 8?
Well, I'm on the chat right now, so it's taking it down a bit.
I don't have fiber optic. I'm a Cat 6 connected direct, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I've got.
Sorry.
Sarge is at work.
I got 9.4 down right now. It's working good right now. I got 9.4 down. I don't know what I got up yet. Still testing it.
You're at work, Sarge? I heard the radio.
No, he listens to that on his off time for fun.
Yeah, something about a 95 Buick.
Keeps it in his bathroom.
What's that, Sarge?
They got the Buick out.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
We chatted afterwards.
Hey, Sarge, how many square miles is the county you got to work? I'm just curious.
545.
How many offices?
That number varies. One map says 545, the other one says 554. So
it's 500 something. How many guys you got on the county?
Typically 6. Tonight we just got 5.
Wow.
I can't believe you have that many. Must be nice.
Honestly, it's the same around here. And I said this to Sarge. I said, county officers, man, you got this many guys to cover this much territory. I'm like, really?
Well, you learn how to take care of yourself.
Yep.
You either learn how to take care of yourself or you learn how to talk till somebody else gets there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I bought a
a
computer fan tonight on Amazon to go in my gun cabinets to move air around in them. I bought a little computer fan.
Well, I wish you would have got a hold of me. I got about 7 of them. I would have sent you one, but you're all good. I mean, yeah, honestly, I've used them to ventilate, to keep dry.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The county I live in is 763 square miles, and most nights they have 1 deputy. Some nights, Friday and Saturday, they have 2.
What? Wow.
Hey, now one county over from us, a smaller county, has 2 guys at night.
And they're how big?
I think that whole county is, I don't think they have 20,000 people in that whole county. I think there's like 15,000 in that county.
How many square miles?
It's smaller than us.
Guesstimate 300, 400. I mean,
probably 400.
Yeah, I honestly, I've seen that. Like I said, I've seen that with our local county. It's like how do 6 or 7 guys protect 500 square miles? I mean,
you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. You just get there in time to clean everything up.
Yep.
Well, yeah, my county is 14,672 is the population. So it's a small population-wise, but it's almost 800 square miles.
Almost 800?
Yeah, 760. What did I say? 763.
That's a big county.
County I'm in is 780.
That's
I'd I'd have to look at my county. I don't think it's. I'm thinking it's close to 500. But man, wow.
Yeah,
much,
and
how much area did the cities take up though in the county? That's the other thing.
nothing. Like there's one city in the county that's big enough to be a city. The rest of them are just little tiny. There's 2 little tiny towns.
Yeah.
But I know where the deputies hang out at night because they usually hang out way up north. So therefore, I'm on my own for a long time before the police get here. Like 30 minutes at best.
Do they hang out at the donut shop? I'm just cutting on Sarge, but do they hang out at the donut shop?
Sarge, have you ever heard that before?
How about
They got a
no,
pineapple
you
shop there?
walk in, you say, hey,
Pineapple
this would be a
donuts.
good time to rob a bank.
My county, same way. We got a lot of itty bitty towns. We only got maybe my town, which is 20,000 plus, and another town that's maybe a little smaller. The rest are really, really small communities. You know what I mean? So, but a lot of them have their own police force. So.
See, and now we've got some towns here, but one town has about 10,000 people in it, and they have 4 people working in that little town. Another town has about 3,500 people. They have 3 people working. We have probably 40-some people, 40-some thousand out in the county in winter. There's probably 40-some thousand people out in the county, and we have 6. In summer, probably double that.
Well, the biggest town in my county is 6,000, and they have 2 officers at night normally.
Yeah, our county probably at least doubles in population in summer.
Tucson's got close to 750,000 people. There's 1 police officer all night long.
Why?
He just sits at the telephone. He doesn't even get out. He just sits at the telephone.
He just calls you back if you got a problem.
Does he put his 1 bullet in when he needs to?
We're just that self-sufficient. We don't need to call nobody for nothing.
But that is true. The further reaches that people live away from civilization or from the town, they're much more self-sufficient. Much more.
Gotta be.
Well, they just are. It's a different mentality of a person that lives away from.
You don't move there, or else you die if you did move out there. Right? If you can't handle it.
I've heard a lot of that from people that live out in like Wyoming and Montana, and they're like, do you realize how much space there is and how many people, and we can't rely on law enforcement because they're an hour away.
Oh, they really are.
You got 162 down?
Yeah, that's what it came up as.
Holy crap. That's a lot. Are you on some sort of fancy internet or whatever?
I don't know.
The wife pays all the bills. I don't need to know that.
No, no, it's not that. I just we did I don't remember what we just had done. Because I had some issues with stuff. We did just get a new modem. And it's so I don't know. Not sure.
Ape's
I'm
over there.
getting an antenna tomorrow if that makes you feel better.
Ape's over there 10 down, and he's over there with 162 hoarding all the gigabits. He's like,
Nobody needs that many gig. No, I mean, that's a full semi-auto gigabits.
Yeah, that's full set.
I just keep things downloading on this laptop because I can.
Well, you realize whenever I get my Bolt fiber optic that has been promised to my area for 2 years now that I live 2 miles from, it is 1,000 up and 1,000 down for the same price I'm paying right now for 10 up and 3 down. 3 up and 10 down.
I'm on Spectrum, and they tell me it's 1,000 up and 1,000 down, but I don't know. There's many times that it is not 1,000 up. That's for sure.
We don't have anything even close to that here.
Sarge,
I literally don't have internet at my house, so except for my phone.
They tie notes to squirrels like little carrier pigeons and send them to each other down there.
Oh yeah.
The only problem is people keep eating them.
If you just type in speed test into the search engine, it'll bring up one of the speed tests. There's a couple of them. Cable companies run them. Some of them have been around for as long as the internet's been around. And they'll just send a bunch of pings to your computer or whatever they do, and then give you an idea of whatever computer you're on that you run it on, what kind of connection speed you got. It's always a good troubleshooting step, because if you're noticing a situation where maybe you're lagging on a live chat or it's taking forever to upload, you're not sure if it's your computer, your physical connection, or your internet, you can run a speed test like that and find out, oh, I've got good internet, so it's probably not my connection or my internet service provider. It's probably something on my machine, or the other way around. If you see that you've got poor internet, then you know not to troubleshoot, apps on your machine or something.
Most of the time on my end, it's my internet, and it's supposed to be all high speed. And I run the thing on my computer, and it's like that. No, it's the internet. I found that certain times of the day, like now, runs great. Less people on the internet during peak time. It's going to run slower because there's more people on the internet at that point.
So
mine's running good right now.
I do have an app on my phone that I downloaded once. I hardly ever use the damn thing, but I just ran it on my phone, and the upload came up 10.2, and the download came in at 403. Download.
Fuck off. You ever heard of fucking off?
Yeah. You realize whenever I go to upload a video, I upload videos as I go to bed at night, so they can upload all night.
All night long?
All night long.
Oh,
yeah.
all night.
Whatever.
Does it take that long? Does it take that long to upload? I'm just curious.
On 3, that takes forever. Yeah.
And I don't always get 3. Sometimes I get 1 or 2.
Yeah, like you're saying, when all the kids are playing their video games, it's probably down to like 1, right?
I pay for 5, and I'm getting 3 right now.
No, you're getting, your service probably says up to.
Yeah, probably.
Well, that's what I was saying. I mean, I've noticed that at prime time or certain times, people getting off work, blah blah blah, it runs slower. Everything runs slower as the night gets a little older. Then people, it runs faster. And certain times of the day, it definitely runs slower. So I don't know if it's usage. Is that what's going on?
Probably.
I blame evil for messing with your internet.
I don't know. Whenever I called my internet company on Friday to get it
evil
to figure out what was wrong, they're like asking me about my antenna, and I was like, I don't know. You guys came out and changed it a couple years ago. Like, give us the model of it. And they're like, we haven't used that antenna in 8 years. I was like, oh, well, maybe it's been a couple more years than I thought. Like, yeah, your antenna's way out of date.
Yeah, maybe it's time to upgrade. I just
You're on satellite internet, or you're talking?
No, I've got wireless tower to tower.
Okay. That stuff can be pretty freaking fast. Yeah, I'll bet you'll get way better speed with you an old antenna.
I don't know. I'm wired direct, and sometimes it's great, and sometimes you just want to hit it with a hammer.
Well, see, mine, they just now came out with 2 new packages, because the most we could get before was 7. And they emailed me like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago and offered this one that's 10 and 5 instead of 7 and 3. So I upgraded to it, but they offer one more that's 25 and 10, and I may upgrade to it, but it's another $50 a month. I'm already paying $100 a month.
Some people think G has a new package, but just a pineapple.
Nope. Just pineapple treatment.
It's just a pineapple.
It's all squeaky new. Speed test. YP said speed test won't even come up with his laptop. it's doing the test is too much for the fucking
mine the other day. Mine has been doing that. It'll come up and tell you it's got an error. And if I go to fast, it'll show me that it's like 3 megabytes per second or something. Or not megabytes, kilobytes, I mean.
Did the test in your phone just turned itself off?
Snob's internet is faster than the speed of smell.
Yeah.
Barely.
It has its moments when it runs good. I just ran it again now at 5.9.
If you keep running the test, it lubes up all the circuits and then faster.
Now mine slowed down.
All right.
So how about that Smokey and the bear?
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we done here? Are we done here? Are we ready to get the hell out of here? Get some sleep. Maybe we'll have to push. We'll have to push Smoking the Bandit back a week. Then Moo can come on. Two Eyed Moo wanted to come on, and he couldn't. We'll try and get him on here next week. So I think we've exhausted the audience.
Do we still have an audience? Is anybody even out there?
How many people are still watching?
23.
23.
Well, you know, there's a lot of perverts and weirdos up at 1 a.m. Central Time.
I was just looking at George Cortez's comment about the neighbor's Wi-Fi, and I went, "Yeah, it's great when they don't password protect it, right?"
My Wi-Fi is not password protected.
Well, then your neighbors are sucking your Wi-Fi.
I promise you, my neighbors are not sucking my Wi-Fi.
I was just gonna say, Snob, how far are your
Wi-Fi or
neighbors
waifu?
away? Waifu. That's funny. How far are your neighbors away? Because if they're not like within feet, yeah, but
a half a mile to my grandma and grandpa, and they don't even own a computer. And my next closest neighbor is a mile.
Yeah, they're not sucking your Wi-Fi, that's for sure.
Is a savvy computer hacker going to tell you they have a computer, or are they going to make it seem like they don't know how computers work?
Well, he says, "Can you look this up on the Facebooks?" I'm like, "Look what up?" "Oh, look up somebody's phone number." I was like, "Really? Okay, yeah, I'll do that." I don't ever even tell him anything different. He probably goes to church every Sunday and says, "Yeah, my grandson looked that up for me on the Facebooks and found where I could buy that part for the tractor."
Nice.
He's, in his mind, the Facebooks is like the old Sears catalog, except on the internet.
Yeah, he thinks the whole internet is the Facebooks, and that's what he calls it, is the Facebooks.
You know, back in the day, that Montgomery Ward and Sears catalog went to the outhouse for certain reasons, right? Yeah. Anyway,
that donut operator video is about the buyback that was up in. He's talking about that buyback that Roll Call was talking about up in Michigan City. That, and a dude shot himself in the garbage, shot himself in the junk when he dropped his.
Oh, yeah.
He
didn't drop it. He went to draw it. He was. I don't want to get racist, but he was Mexican carrying, which means no holster, appendix carrying. He went.
I believe they prefer to be called dreamers.
It doesn't matter. It went in above his thing and then came out below his. Yeah. Oh. Sarge
is on camera.
Sarge in uniform.
Bad boys.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when it comes to? Yeah. Where you at?
Oh,
Sarge?
He stopped at RL's truck stop.
Yep, at the truck stop.
Bathroom break. And he's not going inside.
Oh.
Why not? Everyone else is going by the dumpsters.
Hopefully not the ones that are on fire, right?
Are you wearing Class A's on night shift?
No.
Oh, I thought it looked like Class A's when I got a glimpse. Like, good God, that's strict.
Well, he knew he was going to be on a chat tonight, so we wanted to impress.
It look good.
Like, I got all dressed up for Smokey and the Bandit chat and turned into this pineapple fucking shit.
No, we don't. I'm wearing BDUs and everything.
Got some old sweatpants on.
If you go by the dumpster fire, it kind of keeps everything warm while it's dangling about.
In the pineapple.
Sweatpants would be so much better than this uniform.
Yeah, but how are you going to keep your duty belt on? I mean,
no, you take your duty belt off and put it in the back seat. I know a guy who did that before and gets a call in the middle of the night.
Yeah, you told a story about a guy that did that.
Yeah, it's embarrassing when you have to get out and put on your duty belt when you go to a call.
Especially if you're in your jammy panties, right? Yeah,
Jammy panties.
Well, jamma pants, whatever, you know what I'm saying. It's like, shit, the phone rings, I got my jammas on, and it's like, shit, throw my duty belt on and run out the door. Yeah, that's embarrassing if you show up to a scene with your pajama pants on and your duty belt.
Your pink fluffy slippers.
Yeah,
little bunny slippers.
or a Snuggie, you know. If the Snuggie has C4 defense on the front, well, you'd be all right, right?
I saw a city officer one time get out of the car with no shoes on because his feet were hurting. He took his shoes off. They were in the passenger seat.
Like not even flip flops, just bare feet.
I didn't say he was barefooted, but he didn't have his shoes on. He had socks on.
Wow, was that guy sober? I mean, I just curious.
Sat in a car for 11 hours.
Small town.
Small town. You think you're not going to do anything, and then something actually happens.
I drive truck for a living. The last day I drove for 11 hours. You know something? You think it's great? Drive a Crown Vic or whatever the hell that cops are using these days, and go. I drove this for 12 hours. Drive a frickin' Mack dump truck for 12 hours and tell me how you feel.
Yeah, you're sitting in your police car for all those hours. Nothing's gonna happen. You think? Take your shoes off. Next thing you know, you get a call.
Yeah, the whole world comes to an end.
Back in the bag.
You got a guy in a van that's getting Grand Theft Pineapple called on him.
Grand Theft Pineapple.
Is that one of the new video games on the YouTubes?
Oh yeah, Grand Theft Pineapple. He murdered a hooker.
That's what I call this thing. It's a 4-door Mustang.
There you go.
One of these new Ford sedans.
A Ford sedan? What? A Ford sedan?
It's a Ford sedan. It's a
Taurus.
The Taurus.
Taurus.
Is whatever it is. It's a 4-door Mustang. Is all it is.
That's your cruiser?
It is now.
Okay, you got a new one? I'm curious.
I'm not kidding. I just traded in my Explorer there a couple weeks ago.
So wait a minute. You traded in your Explorer for this car?
Yeah.
And your personal car is your patrol car? What?
No, ownership never came into this.
Oh, okay. Okay, so what are you patrolling in now?
My Ford Mustang.
A
Segway.
A Segway.
It's my Ford sedan. It's a
stripper car.
Come on, give Sarge a break. Come on.
It's a Ford.
We're giving Sarge a
break.
break.
Be more clear.
It's a Taurus.
A Taurus.
A 4-door Taurus.
How about Jumpy in there with you?
Yeah, it's a stripper car. It's his name. It's a stage name is Taurus.
Taurus. Oh my God. You guys are brutal.
Taurus, you're on deck.
It was a bitch putting all those red flags from the SUV onto the new car, though.
I'm all out of them.
But midnight, they were all orange. See, that's what you don't get. They were all orange. All those flags you posted were orange. They weren't red. So I think maybe we need Obnoxious in here to explain the orange.
I think that depends on what you're looking on, because on my phone they're red.
I keep hearing about.
They're orange on my phone, on my computer. They're orange. They're not red.
Okay.
Orangey glass, not red.
RoboCop car. There you go.
Dun, dun,
Be
dun.
riding in the back of the what was the robot machine gun thing?
Ed 209.
Ed 209. Yeah. Let's see. Put a little backpack, like a little one of those little backpacks that you put your kids in. Put that in the back, and you can sit in that, ride that thing around.
Like Master Blaster.
Yeah, pretty badass, for sure.
Oh, show.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. Armament and Axes, you got 9 seconds. Give yourself a plug. We're getting out of here.
9 seconds. Check me out on YouTube, Instagram.
All right, time's up.
Shut up, dickhead. Yeah,
it's the fastest he ever had a comeback.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, thanks for the invite. brother. Yeah,
Mhm.
you know, been here before. Check me out here, there. Yeah, it's the same thing. I did do a podcast with my son tonight for his first time. My son's channel. He's been doing YouTube longer than me. He'll climb Ohio, blah blah blah. But yeah, it was our first time. It kind of worked out good. Drove out it a little bit. Yeah, whatever. So anyway, thanks.
Absolutely. Check it out. G-Webs. What you got? Other than you got your patch batch, right? Which sounds like some people are starting to get on it, which is cool. And I will say that your Every Second Matters chat was really, really good. If you guys didn't watch that, hop on there. Tony was on there. Tony Simon was on there. Artisan Tony was on there. Yankee was on there with you. I forget who else. But it was a really good chat. It was like real positive and talking about Patreon and supporting channels and supporting fundraisers and supporting the people that fight for your rights, basically. So that was really, really cool to hear. It was really, really good chat.
Right on. Well, thanks for the link, and we're preaching the fire to these 21 people that are watching and the people on the panel, but value what you're doing. The stuff that they're saying in those house debates and stuff is based on what's out there. So everything that we're adding to what's out there has the potential to influence what gets said next time. So thanks everybody for participating in all that.
Mm-hmm. Sarge, you available? Give yourself a plug. When you on this week?
We'll be back on our normal time for Thursdays this week at 9 p.m. I don't know whether Boomer's going to be able to jump in. He's trying to figure out his Uber schedule, which apparently he did good the last couple nights, so good for him. That's going to help him get a little more stable, which is a good thing. Not that he's unstable, but he's having a tough time, so this is going to be good for him. And trying to get all my ducks in a row, trying to make sure I can make Tulsa happen. I've had a little something come up, but we're going to keep plugging forward and see if I can still make it happen. I think I will.
Hey, just double up on your Valtrex. You'll be good.
Yeah.
You'll be good.
So, I guess I could just always start Indiegogo like Night Strike, trying to raise $1,000 for a free ride, but whatever.
Mr.
Big money.
Mr. Shall Not Pee in Fridge.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Stop. Yeah. Gun stop. What's going down, man?
Oh yeah, I had something pretty important happen last night for me. Anyways, I feel like I'm big time. I'm really too big for this chat now, but I still came in. I did hit 1,000 subscribers last night, so
True story.
Yeah. No.
Don't get arrogant, okay? Don't get arrogant. Come on.
Now that you're a big channel, do you feel like you should soft pedal 2A issues and let the smaller channels
That's kind of what I was going with. There's no sense of me worrying about it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you weren't watching last night, G. They started asking him about gun stuff,
and he
just took off. He freaking left his own chat. He got so scared.
That's how you know he's a big time channel.
Yeah.
No reason. They're like, so what do you think about gun rights nowadays? And he's like, oh, I can't hear you. I'm roboting. And he's gone.
Notice my internet's fine tonight. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You can bullshit with us. You can bullshit with us, but you can't do nothing else. You fucking lazy bastard.
So if any of you people's out there in the chats or in here want some holster making supplies, go sign up for my giveaway. Anyways, you don't even have to do a VR or anything.
I signed up.
I saw that.
Hey, Snob, I've watched the videos of you making the Kydex and how to make the press, and yeah, I'm that kind of guy that if I can do it myself, yeah, that's me, and yeah,
Then go put a comment on the video. That's all you have to do. Just put a comment on the video.
Can you make one out of Bolteron?
Do what?
I'm real busy though.
Can you make one out of Bolteron?
What? What?
I'm talking to the holster maker.
I couldn't hear you.
Can you make one out of Bolteron?
What's Bolteron?
We're not talking about Voltron. What are you talking about cartoons for?
It's
He
that.
said
It's
Bolt.
Like a
that
body of
new,
different pistol holsters that fit together to be a rifle scabbard.
that new it material that's supposed to be the new thing.
I haven't even seen it, so I don't know. But yes, we
The
can do
gun
it.
stop still makes holsters out of dried cow flops. So he's way behind the times.
I am.
It's a little known fact, that's what Kydex is made out of.
I just use duct tape. What are y'all talking about? Well, Gorilla Tape, so it's black. I mean,
Well, I was
now
going
you're
to say,
racist?
no,
Yeah.
Gorilla Tape's the best duct tape ever, but you know, that the stuff's so sticky, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's how I make my sticky holsters for your pockets. Just Gorilla Tape. It works.
Makes sense.
Can't
Can
beat
see
them.
that. Very good. So pineapple holster. There you go. So anything else? I will say this. Matt's
1700 again.
No, they don't. No, you don't. You got too many already. Matt's
He's kind of socialist.
Yeah, Matt's Guns and Geeks podcast from the 27th. For the background check, the day the background check stuff passed. The beginning of that show was a really good. He had a really good opening of that show. Matt's. It's a little ranty, right? But I think it was really. Though it was good. It was good to hear.
Matt, what?
Yeah, I know, a little ranty. So Matt, I'm going to give Matt the wound up son bitch of the week. Even though he wasn't super wound up, I appreciated his rant, and I liked it. So Matt, I'll give that to Matt this week. So
Was that the one that turned into the dumpster fire that Sarge ended up on?
That was Yankees chat.
No, no.
Yeah, it was.
Yankees chat's always a dumpster fire, but you know.
Oh, after Yankee left. That's right. After Yankee left. Yeah.
Okay. Not him, but one of the gifts just not stop complaining about everything.
I don't complain about Yankee. I just don't watch him, and I can't stomach Yankee Marshall. That's
No, you're supposed to watch people and bitch about them the whole time. Don't you know that?
Yeah, I just can't. I can't.
That's what everybody does about my videos. As long as they're watching them, and I don't care if they bitch.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? So, Ape, why don't you take us out here? We'll get the hell out of here.
All right, shameless self-promotions aside, ladies, gentlemen, and Jonases of all ages, thank you for watching Midnight Range TM's The Closer. Be sure to check out gunchannels.com for more Pro 2A content. This concludes our regularly scheduled programming, but we'll be back sometime tomorrow with open lobbies throughout the day. Gunchannels.com Monday night programming at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's Clover Tax, MOA Monday, and Hawaii Volcano Squads locked and loaded. 9 p.m. Eastern, it's Never Enough Ammo, a.k.a. Mr. Matt's Guns and Geeks podcast, The Weekend Geek. At 11 p.m. Eastern, it's the Outlaw Hatfield's Monday Night Shootout, and every weeknight at midnight Eastern, it's the Daily Gun Show. Check out GunTube.org as a free and unrestricted Pro 2A video platform. If you like what you see, go over to Patreon and throw them a couple dollars. If you like any of the wonderful patches you can find somewhere underneath all this crap on my table, go to gearwebsites.com. And remember, a hot dog is a sandwich, Slim Jim is candy bar, and fruit has life.
That was great. I mean, that was just awesome.
You're still muted, Midnight.
Said 2 Live Moo posted that on Instagram, a pineapple picture. I opened up my Instagram and a little googly-eyed bastard staring me in the face.
At least he's looking you in the eyes.
That's looking up at you. Oh, all right. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for everybody out in the chat. I'll see you next week. Take it easy. Bye.